What's up, niggas? What's up? Oh shit. What's good? What's happening? What's poppin'? What's up, niggas? Bitches and niggas. Niggas and bitches. Eloquently petty. Articulate assholery. My name is Marcus Aurelius. This is the Keep It 100 channel. Uppity Negro swag. Niggas and bitches. Bitches and niggas. You could have been anywhere else in the world. But you're here with me. What's going on, niggas? Let's shout out some people right now. Let's shout out some people. I see it's a lot of motherfuckers in here today. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday, man. Alright. Shout out to my man, Adric. What's going on? No sense, absolutely. Brad Second Gear, what's going on? What's up, man? Toya, what's happening? What's happening, Toya? Going on. Alright, Dave Tao, what's happening? Bottom man is dead to the motherfucker. And next week we will be talking about the provider mail versus the desired mail versus the provider mail. Okay, what's up, D? I see you in the building. What's up, my nigga? What's up? What's going on, bro? What's up, man? Glad to see you in the building. All right, Deacon Dave, I see you. Blame it on Jermaine. Free Zone, what's poppin', man? Free Zone is in the building. Free Zone, look. What's going on, man? My man Nigel is in attendance. Bishop, yes, uppity Negro. You more uppity than me, man. I don't know, man. We might have to get, the switch. Go fetch me a switch. Take all the leaves off. This nigga uppity. You gotta take the uppity out your ass, man. You uppity motherfucker. What's up, man? Afro National. All right, J. Jermaine, first super chat. What's going on, brother? Y'all know everything this nigga fault, right? I keep telling y'all this, man. I'm gonna have to make a little animation for Jermaine, man. Everything is Jermaine's fault, man. This the nigga they talk about, man. J. Jermaine, man. He's the nigga responsible. What's up, Will? What's going on, man? GG is in the chat. GG is in the chat, man. What's up, Dre? What's going on, Dre? All right, what's going on, everybody, man? Oh, man. Hey, like I said, every week, man, every week gives us something new, man. I swear to God, man. So I gotta reach for this video. So I'm hearing, right? This is the claim that's being made. I gotta say, allegedly. Shout out Alexander Kelly, I see you. Stefan, I see you. I'm gonna shout out names as they walk in. So the claim that's being made, and if you've seen my last stream, The Black Man is Batman, I said, you hit somebody with a brick, right? And I'm talking about Brickgate. You hit somebody with a brick. They shit supposed to be all scratched up, bleeding, busted, wide open. I got a pair of brass knuckles. They not exactly within arm's reach, but they're in here. If I hit somebody with brass knuckles, I'm gonna split they shit. If you hit somebody with a brick, you gonna split they shit. Now, unless this chick got the leatherest of skins, there's something ain't right here. Right? So the alleged, the thing that's being alleged, right? Because it's all alleged. It's alleged she got hit with a brick, and it's alleged what the allegers are saying now. The allegers. They're saying that she took saline solution and shot it all up in here and blew her shit up, right? And then made up this story. I think it's Pink Book might be saying that. Pink Book might be saying that somebody said that she blew her shit up. Now, this woman has made 40 G's off of this. 40 G's, right? I can't remember the last time a nigga got shot and raised 40 G's. Like shot dead, right? You might have some celebrity might say, hey, man, let me put your daughter through college, man. But like, nigga get shot and regular people say, hey, let's do a GoFundMe where we get this nigga this amount of money. I don't think somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, shit, even the chick that got the PPP money and fucked that up, they gave her some money. Right? And that's why I say, the victimhood card is a very powerful card to play if you are seen as a victim, and black men are not seen as victims, even though, the numbers reflect different. We get murdered out this motherfucker, but we ain't victims, right? But I'm just saying, that the ability to raise my foot, my neck, and my back, if I say it, nobody give a fuck. Well, nigga, when your foot and your neck and your back get right, then go get some money and be a man and, get your shit together. But a bitch boo-hoo 40 grand. 40 grand. God damn. It's just doing this shit multiple times. Now, we pointed that out in the last stream. But it's like these chicks don't care. Like the shit is being shown to them. Like, yo, look, this is what she's been doing. So what? Y'all niggas was still mad. Y'all niggas just still happy that them niggas stood on the side. And again, I'm trying to understand. And the funny thing is, this is Somalian niggas. Now, I didn't address it in the Black Men. Now I'm going to address it. Because I didn't really lean into the whole ADOS versus Somalian shit before. Oh, but we gets into that tonight, right? Before we get into the main topic. We gets into that tonight. Ain't none of them niggas named Jermaine. Somebody tell me, is, Jermaine a popular name in Somalia? So this time, no, bitch. It's not Jermaine's fault. Jermaine wasn't there. Jermaine, I got you, bro. I'm starting to think the J in Jermaine is Jermaine. He got one of them R&B names, Jermaine. Do the running man. And coming to the stage is Jermaine. Next coming to the stage, my man, yo man, Jermaine. You say, I'm gonna change this shit to J. This nigga stop saying that shit twice. I think the J and J Jermaine mean Jermaine, man. I think your name is Jermaine 2 times, man. Sound like an R&B group. The Jermaine album. Anyway, I always question this. It's like when you look at Meg's foot. When you look at Meg's foot, where the gunshot wound, right? Yo, you know what I'm gonna do, man? I know a chick that does real good Hollywood makeup, right? Y'all see where this is going? Yo. Like, she got shot 9 times. 9 times. Yeah, right. Duran, right? Jermaine. Duran is white boys, but Jermaine is an R&B group. You know what I'm saying? That's an R&B group. Yes, this is Arsenio Hall coming to the stage. Jermaine. He said, actually, I have 3 J's in my damn. It's JJ Jermaine. But anyway, I fucks with Jermaine. But yeah, so I'm just saying, man, how? Where the bullet wound at, right? There's some, my man said Jermaine, well, I don't know how to pronounce that shit, man. Please don't tell me you fucking with me. Owalabo, Jermaine Owalabo. In Jermaine Mobutu. You know what I'm saying? What this nigga Umar call himself? Funtunde? Is Funtunde? Jermaine? Listen, man, it wasn't even Jermaine. You got to blame Mutombo for this shit, man. Mutombo. It's Mutombo's fault this time. Okay? Right? Don't get mad, African brothers and sisters. We make fun of Americans too with our names. Mutombo did this shit. Mutombo hit that bitch in the face with a brick. and Adabisi's, they stood on the side and ain't do shit. This ain't got shit to do with Jermaine. Infantile Unfufu. Wow. Yeah, that's Umar's name. Infantile Unfufu. But anyway, I'm just saying the shit, the injury, the shit screams, what you call it? It screams, what's this dude's name? Smollett. This is some Smollett shit. Shout out to NC Recovery and Relapse. He said the co-signing Simp Brigade. Love the title. The co-signing. Oh yeah, we're gonna get into that. Because the Simp is worse than Pookie. And shout out to Passport OG, who kind of inspired this, because I spoke on this in the last stream, Black Man is Batman. I spoke on it shortly. I've been saying this for a long time, and I'll get into that in a second. But yeah, man, you cannot get hit with a brick and not bleed. You can't do it. And I'm telling chicks this shit. Well, you never know. I never know what. Y'all bitches is Bruce Leroy. Y'all catching bullets in y'all teeth and shit. Y'all getting shot in the foot and walk red carpet. These are some mighty hoes, man. Yeah, shout out to Passport OG, man. He did a video on my video where he said I kind of changed his perspective. And that's all we're here for. We're here to change perspectives. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, you would need stitches. Shout out to Dar. Good to see you up in here. You know what I'm saying? Truism, the Stormcrow returns. He said, looked like an alien was trying to come out her face. Yeah. Yeah, it looked like one of those, you know, how the shit come out your fucking chest and shit. I dropped my fucking lighter. I'm gonna have to get that. But yeah, man, that's why I'm like, yo, I don't believe it. They lost Meg bullet fragments. How the fuck does this happen, man? They lost her bullet fragments. Where the brick at? Show me the brick. I want to see the brick. I want to see the murder weapon. I want to see the fucking murder weapon. You bitch, you said you got hit with a brick. Did the nigga take this brick with him when he got in the car? Show me the brick. I want to see the brick. You got the brick? Case dismissed. Case dismissed, lady. Where the brick at? I want to see the brick that hit you. I can't. Where the brick? And then we gotta do ballistics on this brick. we gonna take the side of it. You know what I'm saying? We gonna smack some, I don't know, some Play-Doh, right? See the pattern of the brick, the texture doesn't match her face. And yeah, we're gonna do ballistics on this brick. Because bitch, we think you're lying. Oh yeah, we gonna run ballistics on these bricks. I don't think this is the brick, y'all. Yeah, put brick on it. Hey, shout out to these guys that cross-examine the brick. Put the brick on the stand. Put the brick. Got to put the brick on the stand. Put that shit in a Ziploc bag. Exhibit A. Where the brick? You ain't got the brick. This shit is over. This shit is over. Put the brick in his hand. Can he hold the brick? The brick is too big for his hand. If it don't fit, you must have quit. I don't believe this shit. What kind of Nerf? What kind of Nerf brick you got hit with? You got hit with a Lego brick? What kind of brick is this? This must be the padded brick. This is some soft shit. Why is this bitch not bleeding? So I kind of, if they're saying, look, if they're saying that she's saline solution. So now we got to ask if the brick doesn't fit. So now we got to ask, okay, old boy that made the video that said, yes, she indeed got hit with a brick and whatever. Because I mean, shit, we've all seen the viral videos where motherfuckers lift the fake weights. So who's to say, and your shit don't swell up immediately, who's to say that a motherfucker ain't throw some fake, a foam brick? Oh, Passport, I need you up here. Hey, Passport OG, shout out to you. Shout out to you. This stream is about your video, right? At some point, I want to bring you in here if you can, because I know, you know what, it's probably, I don't know what time it is in Japan. Matter of fact, I should know. I got this. It's probably morning time about that motherfucker. Yep. 10 a.m. in the morning. It's 10 a.m. It's 10 a.m. If you can, you know what I'm saying? You don't got to be on camera, none of that shit. If you can, I'd like to bring you in here. But I'm thinking maybe, just maybe, Motherfucker threw a phone brick at her, got the fuck out of Dodge. Then she made the little video, you know, she's talking that shit. Then she gave herself the shot of saline and went to the hospital, right? No cut, no lesion, no scars, no nothing. No nothing. I got shot. Where? Here. Where? Nigga, you got to show me a bullet wound. I've been waiting years to see Meg bullet wounds on her foot. I see some cuts. We all seen that picture. We all seen that picture. Yo, this is the era of the black bitch hoax. These chicks running hoaxes all over the place, and motherfuckers keep falling for them. The bitch that cried wolf, that shit gonna run out of gas soon, very soon. Ain't nobody gonna come to the rescue, and it's gonna be a sad day when some shit really happened to somebody. When some shit really happened to somebody, and nobody's gonna give a fuck. They're gonna remember all the times that a chick lied about some shit. They find the shit out to be a hoax. Now I'm hearing, little girl is telling me, you know, my brother's stepdaughter is telling me that there's a police report. Has anybody seen a police report? Because I haven't. I haven't. So she had a police report that she called the police, and you know, she went to a clinic and shit like that. One of them little quick care clinics. Anybody can go to those. You pay, you know, she made 41 G. She can afford the quick clinic, but I haven't seen a police report. I haven't seen it. So now we got, you know, as you seen when I did the Black Man is Batman, you got all these simp niggas coming out saying this, saying that, what a black man should have did, and this, you know, y'all seen old boy that I had, you know, I reacted to him on the We Need to Talk channel, right? Shout out to Obi. I know some of y'all don't like him, but I ain't got no problem with Obi. I ain't got no personal issue. But old boy who was on there, and just so happens, as I was speaking about him on the last stream last week, oh, he was watching. He was watching. Now, my streams are subscribers only in the chat. So if you want to say something in the chat, you got to subscribe. And I guess homie couldn't bring himself to give me a sub to defend himself against the shit that I was saying about him. You talked about me for 2 hours. Yeah, nigga. I did. That doesn't mean you're important. It just means you said some dumb shit. That's all that means. We talk about anything for 2 hours. That's what we here to do. He said, LOL, Obi. He said, I don't like Obi. I haven't heard enough from Obi to say whether I don't like him or not. Usually, I mean, the shit that he said in that video, I do agree with. But again, the simping forces are out here. And they're defending. They defended old girl and Umar and the rest of the simp army. They defended old girl that faked the kidnapping. They're defending this. It's like anything these chicks do, these dudes are going to defend it. And as you see, one of the hashtags on this channel is anti-simp, right? Now, for years, I've been debating with people who's worse, the simp or the Pookie. Understand this. There's a simp, there's a Pookie. Sometimes they're the same guy. Sometimes Pookie is also a thug. These words are not necessarily interchangeable, but you can have a hybrid of the two or the three. First, I want to define those things just for the sake of the conversation. And then we're going to go into why the simp is worse than Pookie. So the simp, we know what the simp is. The simp is the dude that does a whole lot for female validation, for female adoration, or just straight up for pussy, right? Now, simp can be a single man, a simp can be a married man. And for people asking, yes, you can simp for your wife. Yes, you can. A simp does a lot of, self-degrading shit to be accepted, adored, or validated by women. Another thing a simp will do is criticize other men for not doing the thing that he's doing. And he'll say that they're not real men because they don't employ these tactics that he's employing. Right? Now, I have a short where I say, maybe you have to do that. I don't have to do it. Now, if you want to degrade yourself for female adoration, that's cool. But do that shit over there. And don't tell me that I'm less of a man than you because I'm not doing what you're doing. Now, we discussed the failed feminist, the male feminist, right? The male feminist is someone, he's the next step above the simp. Because feminism is an agenda. It's like a socio-political agenda. Right? That's what feminism is. And the male feminist does that thing. The male feminist will go out of his way to not only push for the empowerment of women, but to destroy men who are not aligned with feminist ideology. That's what a male feminist is. So when we talk about simp enforcer, now a male feminist is also a simp, but he's also a male feminist. A simp that is not doing these things is not necessarily a male feminist or a simp enforcer. But a simp enforcer / male feminist is going above and beyond for the feminist agenda. Okay? The average simp is not doing all that. He just wants some pussy. He just wants a pat on the back. He wants to suck a titty. That's all he wants. That's all he wants. What's going on, Dr. T? Shout out to Dr. T. We was kicking it earlier. But that's what the male feminist wants. Now let's talk about Pookie versus the thug. Pookie or Ray Ray is just your average hood nigga. Okay? He's what white people call a slacker, right? He might smoke a little weed, sip a little 40, right? He might have a few kids scattered around the neighborhood. He's a slacker. He's just, regular hood nigga. Might not have any goals or aspirations. Yeah, he says simps do get boxed. Yeah, if they pay for it, they work hard enough, and they get rewarded with some pussy. Yeah, they get boxed. Right? So, I don't know if you hear that motorcycle, but anyway. So, that's your Pookie Ray Ray. And to be honest, the image of Pookie and Ray Ray, right? We know what it is. And usually that there's an attempt to kind of like paint all black men with that image. The Pookie and Ray Ray might sag his pants, that type of thing, right? The thug is not the same as a Pookie or Ray Ray. Now, a thug can be a Pookie and Ray Ray, but a Pookie and Ray Ray ain't always a thug. The thug is the violent criminal. The thug is the violent criminal. And you look up the word thug on Google or whatever, and I think the word thug comes from Indian, like India. It's an Indian term. Like the Thuggy tribe, I forget what it's called. It's Indian in its origin. The thug is a violent criminal. The problem in our neighborhoods are the thugs not necessarily Pookies and Ray Rays. Now, we don't necessarily appreciate being associated with the Pookies and Ray Rays, but they are a less of a problem than the thugs. Now, Pookie and Ray Ray can be a problem, I guess, in his multiple fertility, right? And that's usually the problem that most men have with the Pookie and Ray Ray. And this is how I feel about people or men black men who feel like the Pookie and Ray Ray is worse than the Simp, right? This is my opinion. Don't get mad at me, okay? I feel like, the Kali Ma, I got you. Y'all remember Temple of Doom? Those were the thugs, right? Kali Ma. Remember Indiana Jones is the Temple of Doom, the thuggies, right? So understand this, right? The Pookie and Ray Ray is hated because of one or two things for the most part. I think that these are the problems that a lot of guys have with Pookie and Ray Ray. Is either he's fucking the women that they want, or they're mad because he's he's making all these women pregnant, or the girl that you liked in class, she ain't fucking with you and you get straight A's. She's fucking with this bum ass nigga that probably don't even come to school. He cut school all the time. He ain't going nowhere in life, and you figure you're better than him because you're doing the things that men are supposed to do. And by all logic and conventional wisdom, she should be with you because you're on your way somewhere. So you deserve the girl. He doesn't. He's a loser. You're a winner. Fuck this nigga, right? That's most of the problems. This idea that men are not liking Pookie and Ray Ray because he's fucking the hood up. No, that's the thug. The thug is fucking the hood up in terms of like violence and this and that. Not your average run of the mill Pookie and Ray Ray who smoke. All he want to do is smoke some weed, sip some OE. That's it. And he might, impregnate some females. But, if these weren't the women that you wanted, you wouldn't care. The women like the Pookie and Ray Ray because he resembles, or he might share some characteristics with the thug. Right? So, now, who's the simp? They say the greatest trick the devil ever pulled was fooling the world into thinking he didn't exist. You don't know who the simp is until he shows you who he is. The simp is everywhere. Now, your Pookie and your Ray Ray, they're in an environment, and if you leave that environment, they can't follow you. I said this in the Black Man versus the Black Man is Batman. You leave that environment, they can't follow you. The thug and the Pookie are limited to certain environments. There's a point where you can ascend to or transcend to where the amount of Pookies and Ray Rays is extremely limited. Extremely limited. I will go as far as to say, not only is the simp in places that it's impossible for Pookie or Ray Ray or the thug to get to, but there are more simps than thugs and Pookies and Ray Rays. There are more. The population of simps is that Galactic Empire Star Wars shit. That's what that is. Okay? That's what the difference. There's a major difference. The amount of simps. Now, the other thing about simps is simps wear uniforms. Simps have degrees. Simps have positions in government. Simps write laws. Simps have platforms. Name some of your famous simps. You got your Steve Harvey, your Dr. Umar Johnson. You got your Boyce Watkins. These are men with platforms that people listen to, right? Men with influence, men that move the needle, which is why you have your feminism, which is why you have all these laws that we're trying to get rid of, because these are the guys who make it happen. These are guys, they are the backbone and the motor, the locomotive of feminism. None of this shit could work. None of it without these guys. Now, some thugs or pookies are simps. You can have a hybrid. And some of them, and I see somebody, you put President Biden up there, just understand, some of them are simps for pay. Politicians understand that women are a larger group in this country. They are the larger voting bloc. If you want to vote, you want to get elected, you want to appeal to women. Shout out to black men being brutally honest. I'll tell you something else. What's up, Doc? Dr. Thunder, I see you up in here. Mr. O with the info. What's going on, bro? You know, another thing I'll say is, you know, if you think being on the right, this shout out to Free Zone Lou, because I know you're conservative, and this ain't me trying to tear down nothing, but I'm gonna be honest. Both parties cater to women. If you notice, right? All this conversation about taking away benefits given to women that we may have in these conversations, you don't see any of that happening on the right. They're not trying to remove shit. If any of you have ever lived in a small white town, you know that a lot of those women in the small white towns get a lot of this food stamps and other welfare and shit like that. They get it majorly, okay? If you pull that rug from underneath them, it ain't gonna happen. Now, unless you want to make it a state thing where you say, okay, in these cities and counties where black people are, we're gonna pull these things, but then it'll be obvious. And I'm not saying they care about being obvious, but on the federal level, they can't remove that. No president. Yeah, and they're probably the biggest voting bloc. You can't take government aid from white women. You can't do it. And they're not going to do it for my black ass, for your black ass. So we take the benefits away from the women, then they'll come crawling back to the men. Okay. But that means you got to do it across the board. You can't just say, well, if you're black, you can't get food stamps. So y'all go back to y'all niggas. They're the ones that took the shit away. Pardon me. They're the ones that gave it to them so that these chicks could walk away in the first place. They're the one that said, you can't be in the house while they get benefits. Why would they reverse the thing that they implemented? If the idea is that benefits destroyed the black family, if that was the plan, why would they undo it? So is anyone going to make an argument that the right wants to restore the black family by taking away benefits from black women? No. It's simping for pay, meaning they want to be in office. They understand that women need these benefits. If women go out there and they can't be the boss bitches that they talk shit about being on the internet, then they need to fall back on that safety net. So these motherfuckers gotta Let that be. They can't say, no, we're going to take this shit away. No. No. Black women, not just black women, but women in general, they're not the victims to the level that men are. Men get murdered out this motherfucker. The number 4 cause of death for black men is homicide. Top 10 causes. Top 10 causes of death for black men. Number 4 is homicide. You can look this up. No other demographic has homicide in their top 10. None. White men, white women, black women, Asian men, Latino and women and men. No other demographic has homicide in their top 10. Somebody prove me full of shit. I got the screenshots. But these motherfuckers will tell them, oh my God, a black woman dies every whatever amount of seconds. Do you think that's worse? I mean, pardon me, that's not as bad as some simp nigga that's fucking the chick that you liked in the 5th grade, or the chick that you like on the, pardon me, Pookie nigga, Ray nigga. One Pookie Ray nigga that's fucking the chick you like. You can reconcile that. A Pookie or Ray nigga, you getting all the women pregnant. So what? Go that way. These motherfuckers are putting shit in legislation where you can't see your kid or this and that. This slowly that's turning around. Slowly it's turning around. But the simp is a bigger problem than Pookie, because the simp can do shit Pookie can't do to you. Now, if you get out of proximity of Pookie, cool. But you can't get out of proximity of the simp. Shout out to Gold P. Said money for the plate. Hey, Gold Professor, what's popping, man? What's happening? Stewart, what's going on? To a degree, they took welfare. They took away welfare with welfare to work. And what did women do? Turn the hoe and strip and send fools up and boosting. Let me tell you, I said it in one of these videos maybe a couple years back. Listen, I don't give a fuck what they take away. And they, they modified it. They ain't take it away. They modified it. Okay, you want this, you got to do this. Just like in New York, they, now you can get a gun in New York. Now they make you jump through hoops. Before you had to ask permission. There, NYPD, can we have guns? And it was their discretion whether you could get a gun or not. And, Clarence Thomas, shout out to Free Zone Lou. That's right. Your right wing, Supreme Court justice was like, nope, fuck out of here, New York. Right to bear arms. Let the motherfuckers have their guns. Fuck your discretion. So now they just make you go through a bunch of, you got to do training and you got to do this and you psychological and all this other shit to have a pistol in New York City. But you can get it. Right? So all they do is they change what you got to go through. So yeah, okay, work welfare. Hey, we're going to have you rake some leaves in the park. We're going to have you do this. We're going to have you work in the welfare office. But you still get your benefits. Show me a program where a nigga can't pay his child support and they say, okay, you going to work here. Yeah, you going to work somewhere. Your ass going to be making license plates in county, nigga. You going to make license plates in county, man. That's where you going to be working at. I'm just saying, man. The simp has way more power and reach than Pookie. And I'm not saying Pookie or the thug is not a problem. So before anybody says, Marcus, you're a Pookie and Ray defender. No. I'm just saying on the scale, the simp is worse. And it's not close. It's not close. It's not close, bro. Now, if you want the girl he got, it might be annoying to you. Now, I had somebody say to me, shout out to Bishop X, well, Pookies make us look bad. Because I said, well, you can date out. You could date other women. Shout out to Bishop X. You probably still in the building. They make us look bad. Now, understand this. Before, we was thugging out here with bandanas and shit like that. And motherfuckers had suits on. Guess what? They hung from trees. They don't need you or your participation or your dress code to promote you as a problem. They don't need you. All they need is propaganda and need your women to co-sign it. That's it. They don't even need that, the co-sign. Because Birth of a Nation, the original, wasn't about how motherfuckers dressed, how they talked. It wasn't about how our music was. It wasn't about none of that. Them motherfuckers is out there doing this to our pure white women. Oh, hell no, we can't have that. So they don't need your participation. So for everybody that's like, oh man, these niggas is making black people look like, no, they don't need that. They don't need it. They never needed it. Now, is the thug a problem? Absolutely. Absolutely. If you're in immediate proximity to the thug, he's an immediate problem to you if he's trying to be an immediate problem. If you live in one of these cities like, South Side Chicago, where there's a lot of crime, then the thug is an immediate issue. It's an immediate issue. Understand? But you can leave. You can get the fuck out of there. You can. You can. But nowhere will you go will you get away from the simp. That's the argument being made tonight. Hey, OG, are you available? Let's see if Passport OG is available, because I would love to bring him in here and have this conversation, because I want to hear, because he made a video about this. I'm gonna put it in the description when this video was done. But shout out to Passport OG. Passport OG, I don't know if you're available to jump in here even shortly. Romello, what's good, man? He said that's actually east side of Chicago, all up and down MLK. I've never been to Chicago in my life, right? So I don't know where nothing is, right? But yeah, man. Yeah, this simp in Western culture is growing. I remember when I started doing Facebook, and I would roast bitches all day, and ain't no bitches no more. It's niggas. And some of those men's names have been mentioned in the chat. Right? So this is what I'm going to do. I'm not going to open the panel up yet, but I'm going to bring up specific people, right? So I'm going to drop the link, right? So I'm going to say names. If your name is not these people, I'm not bringing you up. But later on, I might be bringing some people up, man. I got time today. So Dr. Thunder is asking to come up. I definitely want Passport OG up here, right? So I'm gonna put the link up. So if your name is Passport OG or Dr. Thunder, hit that link. If your name is not Passport OG or Dr. Thunder, you will be in limbo if you hit that link. I just want to let you know that right now. But if you want to jump in a little later, but I want to converse with these two gentlemen, in particular Passport OG, because he did respond to this video. Shout out to Wannabe Mystic. He said the educated lame really does remind me of Batman. He has the power to end the Joker. He could really do it if he wanted to, but deep down, he doesn't want to kill him. The Simp is needed as a villain. Said brother Zeke too. I actually read 2 books today. Others, All the Worldly Wisdom by Baltazar Gracian, and compared to the 48 Laws of Power. That's interesting. Hey, definitely send me a link to that. He said, I live in Skokie, but black people are moving to Northwest Indiana and Sauk Village area. So Dr. Thunder has hit the link first. So I'm going to bring him up. I would imagine that Passport OG is setting up to jump on here. Yeah, OG, whenever you're ready, man. What's going on, Doc?
What's happening, man? How you doing?
Chilling, man.
Yeah.
And Kev, I see one thing. Kev, if let me know if you want to jump up, Kev. I see you. But go ahead, Doc. I'm sorry, man.
No, you're good. Yeah, I mean the simp is there's definitely more simps. Simps have more power, and the true problem is the simp. The simp created the problem initially. I did a Thunder's Thoughts a couple years ago at this point called "Was Adam the First Simp?" And of course, the answer to that question is yes. Adam was the first simp, and due to Adam simping, we all have been born. Men have all been born with the tendency to simp. And you have to be aware enough. I mean, you have to actively turn that thing off. I mean, you can't. You're not gonna just. I mean, some folks never were simps, but most folks were simps at some point, and you have to learn your lesson. But yeah, simps are all over the place and doing hella damage.
Hey, man, I'm a revert back to my Christian upbringing for a second. Just for a second. But I'm feeling what you just said. Yeah, the first simp. Shout out to Aaron Peters, Indigo. I see y'all. Mike, I see you. Kane God. All right. Janadrian, what's up, man? No, bitch. I don't want to eat the apple or the forbidden fruit. I keep getting corrected. It's not an apple. It's the forbidden fruit. Yeah, okay. The forbidden fruit. No, I don't want to eat that. Matter of fact, put that shit back. Didn't he say not to fuck with that shit? That's what Adam should have said. And then Eve would have said, but a snake said, and all Adam had to do is just draw his hand back, man. A snake said, what? Oh. a snake. Ha! I said, put the Adam. That's all that had to happen. And we've been all right. And then the people of Nod would have been chilling, and
Yeah, I totally agree.
Right.
See, the issue was not that. So we can dissect this. There's several issues, all of which Adam was responsible for. Okay, so the first thing is, why was she over there with the snake? Why didn't he tell her, look out for this and don't do that and make sure you're doing this right? And
who?
And by
Adam?
the way,
Adam.
Yeah, why wasn't? No, I'm saying Adam.
Okay.
So Adam was given instructions.
Did he know about the snake?
It says in the Bible. Well, check it out. Adam knew everything because his first job before Eve existed was to name all the atoms. Was to name all the animals. So Adam knew what was going on. He knew the lay of the land. The first failure was he didn't tell her, he didn't teach her right. Right? He didn't train her up. Okay? That was his first mistake. The second mistake was once she ate the fruit, then he complied and he also did it. All he had to do was not do it and march her up and say, "Hey, Most High, this one is defective, or I don't know what we're going to do, but I didn't do it. She did it, but I didn't do it." All right, that's all that was necessary. But instead of that, he ate and then he blamed everybody instead of taking responsibility himself.
Don't that sound familiar?
Now it sounds like what 95% of these cats is out here doing. That's what it sounds like.
Now I'm gonna say something real sacrilegious right now, so forgive me. I like, I like messing with religion, man. Like, Christianity. He's like, that's what God was supposed to say. What's the matter, Adam? You can't control your bitches. That's if I was God. If I was God, that's what I would say to Adam. But I mean, he ain't never seen a woman before. He ain't know how to handle himself. There was no people before him, no OGs to say, "Hey, man, don't trust that bitch, man." See, this should have been another snake, right? This should have been another snake to tell Adam, "Hey, Adam, man, that bitch is gonna get you in trouble, man. Don't eat that apple, man." He should have had something, man. Shout out, hey, Passport, what's going on, man?
What's going on, fellas? Ohayo gozaimasu. Ohayo gozaimasu. Is this good sound? How do you hear me?
No, you sound good. You sound good.
Okay, I'm gonna get a place a little bit quieter. Give me just a second.
No doubt.
I'll mute till I get there.
All right. So, that's an interesting observation that you made. Adam was the first simp. Yeah. If it, according to Genesis, yeah, absolutely.
And the thing is that it wasn't just one mistake that he made. He made a series of mistakes, and each one was worse than the one before. And I believe that even after the first mistake, I think that it could have been salvaged. I believe even after the second mistake, it could have been salvaged. But after the third, fourth, fifth mistake, that was it. There was just nothing that you could do because it just spiraled. I mean, it's kind of like human behavior. There's an escalation of, depravity. It never stays at the same level. It always gets worse. So, so it's like after the first or the second thing, then it was really a done deal.
So Dre J says, Strag's out here trying to push that it was actually Adam that talked Eve into eating the forbidden fruit. Is this real? Dre, is this real? Have you heard about this, Doc? They try to put the
that has to do with that mother goddess, queen of the earth, all of that stuff. That's out of that camp. They try to. I know you probably heard this thing where they say that basically the black man is being punished for not being willing to kneel to the what is it, the divine goddess, all of that crap. I know you know about that. That's where that comes out of.
So who else is bowing down to him? So what society is thriving because they're bowing down to the woman or to the black woman? Because the most successful societies are patriarchal, right? So show me the thriving, matriarchy where the men are bowing down to the women and the streets are paved with gold and silver and shit.
No. It's because we didn't give them a chance. We didn't give them enough chances. we didn't let them. We didn't. It's because we've been lording it over all this time, and we never gave them a fair shot. So
right,
you know.
but I'm saying that's true for every other civilization. The British and the Spanish and the Portuguese and the French and everybody else lording over their women. You had, British kings that chopped their queens' heads off and shit like that. Why aren't they being punished? Why? Who's saying? What
actually,
do?
Yeah, the control that you too controlling. That business. It says in the Bible that that the man will. What I can't remember the word exactly, but he's going to lord over the woman. That's part of the fall. That's a consequence of the fall. So that's book. I mean, you're not really. That's kind of. That's. I don't know what the point of fighting against that is. Besides the fact that when they are given power, it's not like they actually topple the patriarchy. They just take it over. They just they take it over and put their cronies in. So.
Now, see, right now, if you read the Bible now, I ain't gonna say the second, but another simp that comes to mind is Samson, right? right, Samson, right?
Heavy simp. Simp.
Right. If you look at the simps in the Bible, they didn't prosper. King Solomon, right? I wouldn't consider him a simp. And that nigga was ruling. But every simp in the Bible that I can think of did not prosper. I'm just saying.
Yeah, simping ain't easy.
So I would implore these chicks to give me a biblical example of a simp winning. But OG,
What's up?
What's going on? I want you to kind of expound on like some of the stuff you were saying in your video, because I think that I may have had you, at least your words, I may have given you some sort of eureka moment or realization. And so go ahead, just speak on that.
Okay, so let me talk in a circle just for a minute. So a lot of guys, especially the guys that are passport guys, right? They're going overseas and they're getting this kind of newfound attraction to different women. But one of the baseline fundamentals is that as Black men, we're taught how to survive as men, how to survive. Don't do something that's going to get you killed. We're not taught how to function as men. So when you talk about the idea of simping, we validate manhood in the Black culture by how much punani you get. If you're getting a lot of punani, you're a man. And that is a flaw in itself, because you go into other cultures, there are men that have the ability to do that, but they see more value in being a man that's building something, organizing people, whatever it is. And they refrain from it because their personal reasons. And so if we take this attitude overseas of, if I get a lot of attention from women, I'm more of a man here than I am back home, it just doesn't translate.
Right.
So that the idea that we need a woman to complete us as a man in itself is a fallacy. And so the idea of the simp is, if I'm this guy, it gives me more access to that from women. And so if I do that, then I'm going to be quote unquote more of a man, because I can tell guys, look at all the women I'm getting access to. And it's a flawed, it's ingrained in us. It's just something that I didn't realize how much it was ingrained in us until I lived overseas for a couple of decades. And I'm like, holy smokes, we sucking toes? They don't do that here. Huh? What? Like, dude, Valentine's Day, women give men chocolate here.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, you think, hold on a second. What about the men? It's like, oh, they give chocolate back to the woman that gave them chocolate a month later. It's like, oh. And so our whole thing is we have to pay for the presence of a woman, and we think that's normal. It is not. It's our normal. And so for us, simp is like a default setting, and we have to like undo it, because we don't treat women like humans. We treat women like, I dare I say gods.
Yeah.
Because if you are always after the search of access to the thing that men always want, you're going to do whatever you got to do to get there. And for us, that playbook is simping. And a lot of guys are carrying that mentality overseas. And it's gonna change cultures. I promise you me, it will. Because they're not used to, a lot of women are not used to a man showing up and spending $300 on a first date hoping he likes her. Like, that's not what they're used to. But that's us. We're taking that overseas. So
yeah.
So
that's going to jack it up over there.
Oh, it is. It's already doing
that's
it.
the point he's making. Yeah,
it's already doing. It's already happening in like people are talking about in Colombia, in the Dominican Republic. They're already talking about it.
Yeah, DR definitely. You know, you the women have developed a hubris around it. Like it's like the women here have a God complex. Black women definitely have a God complex. There's a God. This whole. I mean, and we say it. It's not even implied. We say the black woman is God.
Yes.
We say it explicitly. It's not even covert. Like, and they believe it now.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? So, you know, once you take it to that extent, and again, and I watched your video. I watched it more than once, and I agree with you when you say those men over there will not appreciate you bringing the. So I want you to tell me, because you're there full time. I've been there 4 times. I'm coming back, but I want you to tell me, have you had conversations with those men over there about this, and what have they said to you?
Well, I would say about simping, but I've had conversations about how you deal with women, right?
Right.
So like the way that they see dealing with women is fundamentally different than what we see it as. So I'm building X, Y, and Z. I think that you're favorable to me. I would like for you to be a part of this. Are you going to cooperate with me? Okay, I need A, B, and C from you. Like that's the appeal. The appeal is like, I'm not supposed to make you happy. Like that's something on television, right? My job is to provide to you for you to a certain extent, make sure that you're taken care of and protected. And that's the agreement. But the agreement for us is going above and beyond. So I've had conversations where, I mean, people that are married, men that are married, they're like, hey man, I go out and you know, have a good time. And they may not go and directly cheat, but they do stuff that's leaning in that direction. And it's not like you look down on them. It's just, hey, my job is to provide for my family. I'm doing that. Her job is to take care of the house. She's doing that. There's no moral issue around this. What's the problem? What about her feelings? They're like, what are you talking about? And that's what I've encountered. So the simping thing is more like they have a way of looking at building a family structure that's less moral than the way that we've taught to do it, right? It's more practical, right? So it's not like my job is to make her happy. It's like, we're going to do some things that are fun, but I can't worry about making her happy every day. I can't.
Right.
Like I got too much other stuff to do. And so that philosophy has kind of permeated my thinking, because I'm around so many men that are like, they're men. They're unapologetic. And so the idea of simping in front of those men is almost an embarrassment, to be honest with you.
So shout out to my man Dupree. He says, you know, all women have that, and I think he meant in reference to God complexes. I disagree, man. I think that it's a culture thing. It's definitely cultural. You know, I've been over there where you at, OG, out to Japan. I've been in some of these third world countries, and the women, again, when the men don't support the attitude, it can't foster.
It doesn't work.
I was right. I don't know how much of the last stream you saw, but I was basically telling the guys, you know, when I went out to Japan, the women went. They got out of my way.
That's right.
Like you understand what I'm saying? Like it's
That's right.
men first, right? And I was talking about, we going in the DVD store and they threw my friend out, the girl. They threw her out of there. Me and my homegirl, black chick. We go into this video store and they no women, no women. And that blew another one of these culture shock moments, right? Because again, for us, it's like you say, default setting, right? And the
That's
same
right.
thing in DR, right? Now, she got thrown out. I'm sure that was a culture shock for her, but the women out there, they probably know better than to try to walk in one of these places. Now, if they got a God complex, they're like, fuck that. I'm going in the DVD store. Whereas out here, you got black women walking up into dudes' establishments, twerking on tables, walking in ass naked and all that type of shit. That's a God complex. These women in these other places, they know what they can and can't do, especially if you want to talk about anywhere in the Muslim world.
Well, but that's a trade-off, right? The trade-off is they get to have their spaces, but when things get real, these are the kind of men that we want to protect us. And so we have to allow them their space to be men, because when the rubber meets the road, we need guys that are going to, man up and do what they got to do.
Right.
And so our culture is kind of the opposite, where when that time comes, we want that, but we don't do the men rearing. We don't do it. Like, men have to learn a series of things to function as men, and not just, I don't know, people who acquiesce women's feelings, because that's what we do. That's what we're taught. That's how we're raised.
So let me do this super chat real quick. Shout out to Eric Dedman. This question might be for you, Doc. So is King David a simp or a Pookie?
That's a good question.
Both.
You got to explain that. Explain that.
Yeah, break it down for him, please.
Yeah, well, so the Bathsheba business, and basically having old dude basically killed so that he could be with his wife, right? So that's kind of cold blooded. I suppose that's just simping. So it's sort of, well, I don't even know how. I mean, what would you call that? Would you call that simping, or was that kind of some Pookie stuff?
I'd lean it more towards Pookie.
Yeah, so there's definitely Pookie there, and then
he's taking your woman, but he gotta get rid of you to do it. Simping would be him, if the woman told him, kill my husband and you can be with me. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, right. And then simp. I mean, we all have the simp chip. It's too easy to find. I mean, it's too easy to find some early David stuff when he's. Yeah.
So real quick,
I don't know. Maybe he's more of a Pookie, but but yeah, I still think both. But yeah.
So thanks for the super chat, Eric. So Truth Teller, and this is something that I kind of mentioned on the last stream. Talk about Japanese women with BBLs. If they get BBLs, I'm headed there too. So Wannabe Mystic says, Japanese women with BBLs. I don't know about that, G. So Passport, OG, talk to us.
Dude, all you gotta do is go to any of the places where there's a military installation. Like the girls that gravitate toward like the black culture, they're there. They're there. Looking, hunting. So if you come back and go out to Yokohama, go to Yokosuka, you gonna see some BBLs. You gonna see some. I promise you that. Oh, okay.
Hey man,
you gonna see some. I promise. You gonna see some twerking. You gonna see all of it. All of it.
I gotta talk to this man because hey, look, when I come out there, man, Anton just did it. Look, Anton just did a video. He talking about, hey man, I'm out here in Japan and there's a lot of flat booties, and I appreciate seeing the flat booties. I'm like, nigga, is you crazy? Look,
You just gotta go. You gotta go where the military guys are, and you're gonna see them. You're gonna see all of it because that's where they're going.
I must be in the wrong place. I'm in
That's where they're
Tokyo.
going.
I'm
Yeah.
in,
You gotta get out. Tokyo's not really Japan, to be honest with you. Like
I
Tokyo's,
yeah.
it's like New York. Like New York isn't really America. It's a part of it, but you can't make a decision about America based on New York.
I got you. That makes absolute sense. Being
Oh,
from
you're gonna
New
see
York.
twerking. You're gonna see some twerking. I promise you that. Go to a bar or like a club that's close to a military base, please. You're gonna see twerking. You're gonna see tattoos. You're gonna see whatever you see in Black culture. They will copy it hook, line, and sinker because that's what they're really good at. They're really good at copying and mimicking culture. Japanese people are really good at it. You see some Japanese women twerking better than you've ever seen. That's not even a joke. I'm serious about that.
All right, goodbye, everybody. Yo, it's been real.
You think I'm playing? Just go to Yokosuka, go to Yokohama, and ask the guys where the military base bars are, and you're gonna see all of it. You see all of it.
Why is this not being documented?
What?
Why is nobody telling this story? Hey, shout out to Jamari81 for the super sticker, man. Appreciate you.
Oh, man.
All right. Yeah, Truth Teller says, all right.
Dude, all you gotta do is jump on a train, hop on a train from Tokyo, go to Yokohama, which is like 35, 40, maybe an hour, and just ask around. They're gonna point you to the clubs. You're gonna see them.
Hey, man, I might, because I'm coming out there real soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, before
Man, I've not been to Japan yet. Okay. I had a shot. I had a chance to go to Japan. It was this tour, and it ended up not. I ended up couldn't do it for some other reason or whatever. But I don't want to. I do not want to go to Japan and see that. I do not want to see that, man. That's going to ruin. That is going to ruin. Right.
You have to look for it. You got to look for it. I mean, it's not in plain sight. Like that's a small subset of people. It's not like it's not going to be everywhere. You have to go look for it.
Hey, man. I ain't mad at it.
You can't find it though.
Look. I ain't mad. If it look right, I ain't mad at it. You know what I'm saying? I ain't mad. Everybody like, oh, we don't want no BBL. A lot of y'all looking at BBL that you don't know is a BBL. You'd be surprised what a BBL is, and you might think it's not a BBL. I ain't talking about no ridiculous, like, stupid shit. Like, you see these girls, they be walking and they leg be like this, and you know what I mean. I don't want to see nothing like that, you know what I mean? But like some proportionable, that's a new word, proportionable, right? I ain't gonna be mad at it. I want the chicks to look like some of these anime cartoon bitches I be seeing, man. Cause the women I go out there and they don't look like that. They don't look like that. Like the anime, you know how they over exaggerate the anime women, and the women that's actually out there look like something else. If you could tell me where to go where they look like the anime and not anime, right? Then I'm good. I'm good with it.
Yeah, but I will say, kind of tying it back to the topic is that I think one thing that's happened in Western culture is that it's been so hyper focused on women wanting to be like men,
right?
That you see like the girl that's it's in like the maid, what do you call it, the maid type of cosplay outfit, right, out in front of a club or a cafe, right, and she's just being really nice to people, right? That's something that's seen as something you look down on in our culture. Mm-hmm. But it's just it's an appeal to men. Like men see that, they're like, holy smokes, that makes me want to work, right?
Well, yeah.
But yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna. No, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead and It was
but just so part of the thing about simping is if you are a slave to the vitamin P, it doesn't matter what form it comes in. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if she's manly,
Vitamin.
if she's.
Wait a minute. Vitamin P.
I'm just trying
Yo,
to.
I like the way you
I'm trying
avoid
to.
profanity.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you got some very creative ways to not curse. I peeped that in the video that you put up.
in public.
Right, the vitamin P.
But yeah, I mean, if you think you need vitamin P, if she's overweight, if she's masculine, if she's not in shape, if she's mean to you, it doesn't matter. She turns around and say, I'm gonna give you some. And you're like, ooh, I did something right. Man, please. That attitude's gotta go, man. In the whole of the black community, I'm gonna give you some. Ugh, that drives me nuts.
But you know, the thing is, we're raised by women and men who were raised by women.
Yes.
Right. So, you know, I tell people, even if the man is in the house, that man 9 times out of 10 was raised by his mama who told him that's how it is. And if his pop was in the house, that he was raised by a woman who either, you know, was a single mother or she ran the household.
Mm-hmm.
People think that Sims can't come out of 2-parent households.
Oh, no, absolutely not. That's wrong, way wrong.
Who thinks that?
I mean,
that might be the best place they come from.
Now, but you often hear like these like attributes that we don't appreciate coming from. We blame it on just single motherhood. Like single motherhood takes the blame for everything. And I'm not saying that a lot of this shit don't come from single mother homes. What I'm saying is there are 2-parent homes that might as well be a single mother home because the woman is running shit. You know what I mean? So that's what I mean when I say that. Want to be Mystic, showing support. What are your thoughts on the Mel Tucker situation allegations? I am not familiar. Who is Mel Tucker?
The coach.
Somebody...
That's the coach. That's the coach.
I mean, I did a video on this. When was it? It was Monday morning, early. And I covered the whole business. I covered an article that was on, who was it? USA Today. And they got into even like transcripts from the investigators. This dude blew 80 million for some phone sex.
You said what?
Yeah.
No, you heard me right. This dude blew 80 million. Those are some expensive strokes.
So, hey, look, everybody who wants to jump in, just stay tuned. I'm gonna rotate this in a second, man. So wait, this is an athlete. This is an athlete.
He's a college football coach.
Yeah, he's this big money, $95 million contract, and over 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
And Michigan State just suspended him with no pay. He's got a big hearing coming up on October 5th and 6th, which happens to be Michigan State's the football bye week. So what he did was he got cozy. So what he did was he got cozy with an EPAR activist, EPAR survivor activist. And she's been all around. She's done these presentations all over the place. And I mean, they were every couple of weeks, they were on the phone for 30 minutes. You know, Mel Tucker's married. He's been married for 24 years. He was having an affair with this woman, right? I mean, he had expressed his love for her and all like this. Now, she claims that she didn't reciprocate and she kept telling him no, but then they were still talking 27 times over whatever period of time, over the, I don't know, couple years or whatever it was, which amounted to be about every other week for 30 minutes. So this woman on April 22nd, well, I'm sorry, April, it was end of April, I think it was April 28th, 2022. There was an incident where some phone sex was had, and apparently she couldn't figure out how to hang the phone up if she didn't like it or whatever. And so then what ends up happening is she waits 8 months later to file a report, to file a complaint. So she waited till the following December to file this complaint against this dude. And they drug their feet for a while, but then they ended up suspending him without pay. And now here's the thing that a lot of folks have not picked up about this. And I was actually surprised by a couple of the people that I saw cover this, that they didn't make a bigger deal about this. This is a power grab by academia. So they're using Title IX, and this woman is not an employee of the institution. Title IX only has to do with students and employees of academic institutions. That's what it has to do with. This woman is not an employee. She received an honorarium, so she had a gig that paid $10,000 for her to speak to his players. Okay, that's actually what she was. But what they decided was that because she was she was a vendor, that she received a check from the institution, they're expanding their jurisdiction to include his interaction with her. This, let me tell you, I think that this could be a Supreme Court case. This could turn into a Supreme Court case, because this isn't, in my mind, this is an obvious violation of his civil rights, because there's no way that academia should be able to expand because there's no due process in academia. It's like a freaking
like kangaroo court.
Yeah, it's kangaroo court. It's freaking ad hoc committees with folks that they're not even in political science. You got like an English professor and like some art professor or something sitting on this committee deciding if you're going to get expelled from the school or if they're going to fire you, and not based on some allegations. And there's no evidence of this, by the way. There's no smoking gun. There's no video evidence. All there is the fact that, of course, he deleted his text messages because he has a wife. He didn't want his wife to see what he was doing. She deleted her text messages. Why would she delete her text messages if she was trying to prove that this dude did something that he wasn't supposed to do? Okay? And this is like an activist. This is a woman that runs around telling other people how to conduct themselves in certain kind of circumstances and trying to prevent things. And she couldn't figure out how to keep those messages. She couldn't figure out how to hang the phone up when this dude told her what he was doing. Right? So this is a travesty. This whole thing is but I'm gonna tell you, I totally blame the dude. This dude had no.
Go ahead.
He had no business putting himself in that kind of situation. Okay. It's risky. All of that stuff was totally risky. And you don't crap where you eat. Keep that stuff way away from your household. And he blew the bag because he blew the bag. That's what I think. I think it's wrong. I think this shouldn't have happened to him. I think that the university is out of line. And I think that potentially, if this is allowed to stand, this sets a dangerous precedent. That means anybody that worked for the institution that got a check from the institution can be subpoenaed. So,
all right. So here's where I disagree with this, right? And I mean, as far as saying that he's I guess his fault. If we're gonna agree that this is a bad precedent in the school is reaching, how would he know that it would go to this level? Like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, he could not it would be impossible for him to foresee that this would go this left, right?
Look,
If
Mike Pence rule in full effect. That's what I had to say.
no, I
Don't put
get
yourself in that situation. This guy he's got $95 million contract. You have to know that these women are going to come out of the woodwork trying to get sniff some of that money.
I get that, but this is the problem that I have with this logic sometimes. It's like, okay, like the ball player that went to the strip club, right? Did you hear? You know what I'm talking about?
What you thought, James Harden?
Yeah. Yeah.
You got.
Is it James Harden? I don't know what it is. Ball. I thought it was like a new prospect, young dude went to the strip club and got.
Oh yeah. I know you're talking about. Yeah.
All right. I think that it's a bit crazy to say, okay, well, because you have money and because you're successful, then automatically this mentality kicks in where you have this how can I say like this rationality that just takes over, like, oh, I gotta, this cynicism. Like me, I'm a cynical nigga. Like everybody knows this. Shout out to Dupree God, that's my man. He knows what I'm saying when I say this. I'm a very cynical dude. I don't trust shit. Me, I can see myself being like this, but I don't hold every man to my standard. Like I think it would be a bit unrealistic, right? To and these dudes get traps set for them. If we can agree, right, that a lot of these women put themselves into situations, right, but then they get looked at as victims. Because we say, okay, well, you played a role, you kind of put yourself in that situation, but the other person set you up, right? In order for you to get conned, right, you have to fall for it. Like they say, hey, I can give you 20 grand, a 20 grand check, and you cash it and give me back $2,000, and you thinking about the 18 grand you about to make. Right. But if you don't know about it, I mean, there's people out there who don't know any better. Just because they're successful, they have money, doesn't give them that education.
Okay. I understand. I understand what you're saying. And I can agree with this part of it. It's unfair. It's wrong. It shouldn't happen. It shouldn't happen to anybody. It shouldn't happen to men. It shouldn't happen. It shouldn't happen to women. If you didn't do anything wrong, then you shouldn't have to pay. You shouldn't have to pay the consequences for something you didn't do. I totally agree with that. And to the extent that a trap was set and certain things were exploited, it sucks. Okay, it's wrong. However, and this is something that I've even told, former students of mine. I tell them, don't even go to parties. You're at school, study at school, don't get in trouble. Don't mess with, and certainly get consent, video, audio record, whatever you need to do. But the best thing would be is to not be there at all. Right. So I'm telling them this, and they ain't got no money. Well,
but here's where I think there's a problem with this. If you go historically, the world in the West has gotten progressively more and more open to women being sexually free in a way that they never have been in the history of manhood. And on the other side, you're seeing a more further criminalization of men having lust. Like if you're a lustful man and you're Tiger Woods, you did exactly what Michael Jordan did, except you're doing it 20 years later, then you have a sex addiction. Like it's just, where does it stop? Like if you're a kid on a college campus and you're being told, record everything, get consent, all this stuff, like girls are just going out, getting drunk and doing what they want to do. And guys are like, I got to worry about X, Y, Z, A, B, C, D, E. And now, if you do something today and 20 years from now, say they say you did this 20 years ago, it was wrong. Like, how can you plan for that? Like, if the line keeps moving.
Look.
Wait,
I
hold
agree.
on, real quick. Let me shout out somebody for a Cash App. Shout out to Red Lion for the Cash App, bro. I appreciate you. Go ahead, continue. Because I want to add a few words, but I'll wait for you guys. I'm listening.
Yeah. So I agree that it's wrong. I agree that this has gotten way worse. But here's the thing. Are you going to tell people how to protect themselves? Or are you going to, or are you going to just be like, well, the system should protect everybody equally. So, it's kind of like people sometimes, it's like they use their kids as what am I trying to say? As some sort of protest. You see sometimes people. I just.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
So this is
go ahead.
This is what I'm gonna say, man. Now you said that you tell your students this and they don't have money.
Right.
What about the person that ain't been told shit? Right? I think that just under the premise of him being successful and he's making this amount of money that he should know better, right? Is kind of a faulty premise, right? Especially when, to be honest, right? We could say get video, get this, get that, and this is something that I tell people. But that opportunity doesn't always present itself, right? Let's be honest, right? Like it's a bit. It would be a bit disingenuous to say that in all situations you want to keep whatever kind of receipts you can.
Mike Pence rule,
right? But what I'm saying is sometimes if you in the club and you drinking and she drinking, who's signing what, who's taping what, Mike Pence is he's in the political space. He's not a young person that's out partying. Like, again, to say that all of these situations, like everybody, right, should be walking this this careful line, like they should all know and know better and put this into practice. And if you're told and you don't listen, okay, but you got kids, right?
Yeah.
How much shit we tell our kids how much shit did we get told that we didn't listen to?
You're right. And it's not a fair thing that I'm suggesting. It's just an acknowledgement of how things are. Yeah. It's more pragmatic than anything. It's just like, look, this is the situation. Don't put yourself in these kind of these situations. I would argue that probably somebody like a Mel Tucker, and I see this also with really talented, like naturally talented musicians, artists, often is the case that they've never been told no. Right? They've never been told no. They've never been, parameters have not been set. They've not had to kind of watch their back. They've just not been in those situations because they were the star. They're the star athlete. Everybody wants them. Everybody's on them. All of that.
Right.
And so I do, in that sense, I do kind of feel for the cat, because it's likely that this may be the only time something like this has ever happened to this cat, because he's been protected and he's been, as it were, from whatever bad decisions or whatever, probably his whole life.
Listen, it's going to get to a point where your very male nature is going to be deemed criminal.
Right. So that's a good point.
Right. So how do you not practice your nature?
But you're already seeing it, right? You're already starting to see a lot of guys we would go out to the mall and we would just chat up girls. I mean, I wasn't good at it, but in the 90s, that's what you did. Guys don't do that anymore. That's a criminal offense now. So you just see guys retreating into video games or just doing things to avoid trouble, and you're starting to hear women complain about it, right? You're starting to actually get women that are saying, "Why aren't guys coming up to me?" And it's it's a whole mess.
So yeah, and I agree. So what I'm saying to you, Doc, is what percentage of the population you expect to be pragmatic enough to ignore whatever like impulse they got at all times? It's like, who watched The Wire in here? Either you're too slow or too late, right?
Yeah.
Right. You once, just once. All you got to be is too slow or too late one time. Once. And who's never going to be too slow or too late? That's Avon Barksdale. Never. Who's never going to be too slow or too late?
Yeah. Well, and I think there's a bigger problem, and you don't want a society of men that are super pragmatic about sex, because if that's the case, guys will just start buying it, and you don't want that.
Right.
You can't run a society of men buying sex. You can't do it.
Right.
Because that's what I would do if I were a young kid. I just buy it.
Right. Well, then that's illegal. Then we be talking about how the motherfucker got exposed by the sex worker, and then, oh my God, he blew the bag because he was out paying for pussy. Like there's no escaping this.
Yeah, there's no healthy fix to this except having a rare good wife who understands your male nature, and like that's like 1 in 100 right now. Like
it's less than that. It's less than that.
So I mean, if you're a guy and you have a healthy sex drive, that's really the only place that's safe, and even then, it's still not safe. So what do you do with it?
So what do we tell these young dudes with raging hormones? We tell them, hey, be pragmatic. Like it's easy for us, right, to say this, but we were them young dudes once. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? We were them dudes. We were 19, 20, and then we look at them guys that they're in their late teens, early 20s. They might got a contract. They might be, get into that place. That doesn't X out that they're young men with hormones. See, but that's a crime now. See, like OG said, it's cool to be the female with the raging hormones. But if masculinity is a crime, then you can't escape it. Again, it's late or too slow or too late. Just once. It'd be that one.
Yeah,
right. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you. See, in the position I'm taking, can agree with everything that you're saying, but still, say, hey, we still have to be pragmatic. As much as possible, you have to do what you can do to protect yourself and protect the people that are within your circle, people that are impressionable, people that'll listen to you. Mm-hmm. And as much as possible. Should society be the way that you're talking about? No. Should society be demonizing men just for being men? No, of course not. I'm not a fan of that. I think that's bogus.
But we're kind of doing that here. If we're saying this is his fault, we're blaming him, then we're kind of doing that.
No. I think there's fault to go around. Okay. So first of all, this is a married guy. Okay. So he's doing a bunch of risky stuff being married. So that's part of.
But what if his wife just said, I'm not going to have sex with you anymore?
Right. We don't know.
Yeah. I still don't think, I don't think even if, and this is probably not going to be a popular view. Even if your spouse is saying no, that does not give you the right
to what?
It doesn't give you the right to get it somewhere else.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be unpopular.
Yeah, that's not going to sell.
Okay, well, here's the thing. But here's the thing.
Money back. That's going to be unpopular.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. I have a different view of what the covenant of marriage is, what it actually means.
Well, in the covenant of marriage, she shouldn't be able to deny it, right?
You're right. You're right. So that's 100% true.
So then she's
that's 100% true.
a
That,
contract.
that's
Avoid
true.
null and void.
That's true, but that doesn't. That's true, but that doesn't
No,
let you out. It doesn't make it null and void. That's not what at least from the traditional Christian perspective of marriage, it does not
but
allow you out for that.
Marriage didn't begin in church.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think
That's
one
a
of the
different
differences.
conversation.
Yeah, one of the differences is, at least I noticed here, is that marriage is not for pleasing you sexually. Like, our idea is that, and I don't know how to wrap my head around it, but our idea is you find one person, they're your end all be all, they're your soulmate, they make you happy, they please you in bed, they whatever, all of that stuff. And if a more practical view would be, this is a person I'll raise a family with, and I'm not going to hurt her, but she understands that I'm not going to bring any mess into the house. I think that's the way it's looked at more so in, should I say, less religious, or I don't know, what's non-American, non-Western cultures.
Well, some religious cultures, they do what it is that you're saying, but they have legitimized that by they just call them all their wives. They just have multiple wives.
Yeah.
Okay, so the polygynous thing, and I don't I don't have any heat for people that are doing what they want to do, what everybody knows that's in that arrangement. Now, if you tricking people, that's one thing. But if you open and you telling people, this is what I'm trying to do, I want you to be my second wife, I want you to be my third wife, whatever it is, who am I to say there's an issue? And there is history and religious history for that. So I don't have an issue with that. But but marriage is really not about the two people that get married. It's about the family structure. It's about the kids. And marriage is not really about sexual gratification and all of that. Now, hopefully you get that in your marriage. At least, I mean, you're not going to get 100% of it, but hopefully you do get that. But that's not really what marriage is about. Marriage is about being this sort of, it's an institution that all other institutions have been built upon. And to the extent that it has been healthy and provided a certain kind of environment for children to thrive in, it has been tremendously beneficial for society. And I'm not saying that you should just accept any kind of treatment and you should just be okay with whatever. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, however, if your spouse not breaking you off the way that you want is going to be grounds for you getting a divorce, you should not even get married. Because I can guarantee you, because I can guarantee you, listen, I can guarantee you that at some point during your marriage, it's not going to be happening, or it's not going to be happening the way you want it to happen, or as often.
I got to
because things change. Go ahead.
I got to respond to you. And you know you my guy.
Uh-oh.
But hell no.
Oh,
Women can divorce you on the grounds of whatever. Now, this, and I don't want to change this, and I don't want to turn this into a religious debate, but this idea that marriage began on the grounds of Christianity and all of that is not factual. That's number one. Number two,
yeah, I didn't say that, and I didn't say that.
I got you, but
okay.
Because when you say marriage was built on this and this and this and this, understand that the same way Valentine's Day became what it is now, and all these other holidays and institutions that we celebrate in the West and in America started in one place and ended up here, right? That's what we made the shit into. It didn't start off that way, right? Or this idea, this monogamous marriage shit, like this no, right? So now, if that's your beliefs, I respect that. But this idea that like somebody's gonna be mad at you because you're being denied, and you said marriage is not about sexual gratification, but that's definitely built into it. It's baked into the cake, right?
No. Yeah, what I said, what I
No,
now understand.
I wasn't done, but go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Interject.
don't, yeah,
Interject.
don't, yeah, don't misquote me because I'm not saying that it's okay for somebody to withhold.
No,
And
but you're saying it's not okay. Listen, this is what I tell guys. If marriage demanded that you can only eat your wife's cooking, then when your wife stop feeling like cooking, you gonna starve to death or you gonna eat out? Now it's an analogy, but understand it because everything is belief based, right? These are opinions. There's nothing about this that, oh, you're wrong if you do. That's an opinion. You said, and this is where I will quote you. You said you do not have the right to get something
it's not
outside of you.
grounds.
No,
Yeah.
but I'm
Well, but,
quoting you. You said you do not have the right to get sex outside of your marriage if you're being denied sex in it.
Yeah, I mean,
Under, under,
I mean that's pretty clear. Yeah.
right, but that's clear. But to be honest, under the laws of the U.S., your wife could deny you sex, but according to these same beliefs, your wife is not supposed to deny you. So
Yeah.
she,
So here, see, this is why I like to keep I like to keep these circles separate.
Doc, I listen to you. You got to listen to me now. I got to make my
All right,
point.
go ahead.
Listen, a contract breached is null and void. It's null and void.
well,
And now, if
okay,
you can't, I'm gonna let you jump in, OG. You can't tell a man, oh, you shouldn't get married if you expect sex from your wife.
That's not what I said.
No, you said that if at some point you would divorce your wife because she's denying you sex, then you shouldn't get married in the first place. That's what you said. That is
Yeah.
what you said. So
Well, what I said, yeah, exactly what I said is because she's not giving it to you the way that you want.
no,
But
we're not
here's
talking
the
about the way we. No. Now you're moving the goalposts a
well,
little bit.
no, I'm not moving the goalposts. I'm saying as often in the way or whatever.
No,
My
there's sexless marriages. There's women out here that are not having sex with their husbands at all.
I know, and I think that's totally wrong.
So we ain't talking about, hey, if you don't wear this and do this position and all of this stuff. We talking about there are women out there that are not having sex with their. So these men who are being denied sex. We ain't talking about the way. We ain't talking about none of that. We talking about you ain't getting no coochie at all in your home, and you're saying that if a man goes out and gets what he's not getting at home, he doesn't have, I'm using your words, he doesn't have the right. And if he decides to end that marriage on the basis of that, then he should have never got married in the first place. Why is there always all these rules for men in these situations?
I want to piggyback on
Go
that.
ahead, OG.
So you were talking about simping tonight, right? If I could boil down simping into like one sentence, it is a man basically using his actions, or his actions are ruled around the feelings of women. If you do something that makes women feel good, then that's specifically for that purpose, right? Whether it's good for you or not. I think that's what simping basically boils down to. And so if you have a whole society where what's most important is are women happy? You cannot build a building without fundamental building blocks. You have to have a foundation. And in any building that you look at, no building is built on happy feelings. None of it. Like, you can't build a family if one of the building blocks of the family is a happy wife. Nobody's happy every day. It's not possible. So to think that I got to make this woman possible, that is basically what I think simping is. Not to provide for her, not to do things that help her live her life, but do things so that she can be happy in this moment and preoccupying yourself with that. And so how do you build a marriage on top of that? You can't. You can't. She wakes up today, you're paying for a house. Heck, Will Smith, you do everything, you get everything right, but she wants to do Y and you don't want her to do that. You have no power in that equation. Or Will Smith is the equivalent. How do you build a family on that? And I think that's one of the things that you're seeing in the West now. is that you
Right.
can't build a family on women's happiness. It doesn't work, especially now when women have access to 15,
Yeah.
20 different apps. Like you can't, like the only way it can really work is if a woman says, hey, listen, this is my trade-off. I'm not going to have sex with you every day, but you can go out and get a girlfriend and I don't care. Like if that trade-off is available, then there's a way to make that work. But if the trade-off is you did something, you made me unhappy, I want to blow the family up, then you stop having families. And that's what we're seeing. You stop having families.
So I want to read some comments. Shout out to
yeah, I know the chat's going crazy.
yeah, Chaz Bananas, MCU Life said if my wife doesn't want to sleep with me and she's not sick or on her period or have anything broken like bones, I'm cheating and then she is replaced. Okay, so you got Eric Deadman. He says, in this era of Me Too, the brother had to know he was high risk for getting hit with a lawsuit. I'm in corporate America. If white women are hella aggressive, you have to protect yourself. I agree. What I'm saying is there is the human factor. Everybody is not going to be on point 100% of the time. It's just what it is, right? So I understand what smart men should do, but everybody is not that practical. And again, too small, too late, too slow. Eventually, everybody in this chat has slipped. Okay, he who would what it said? What's the Bible verse? Cast the first stone. Right. Right. So look.
He who is without sin cast the first stone.
Right. Everybody here has slipped. We have all been caught slipping at one point or another. Nobody is on point 100% of the time. So, but understand, I agree with the sentiment being made there. I don't disagree because this is how I live my life. But at the same time, I understand that everybody is not going to be me. MCU Life 5521 says, if my wife, oh, okay, I read that one already. All right, so not OG, I agree with you. So let me ask the good doc. And then some people want to come up. I'm gonna bring people up shortly. I want people to drop some signs to keep because I want to continue this. A man who is being denied sex in his marriage, he can't have sex with another woman, and you think that if he wants to leave it, so he's just trapped. So what would you have a man like that do? He can't have sex outside of his marriage, and he's wrong to want to get a divorce. So what would you have him do, Doc? You sound to me like you want men to be trapped in this shit. Like, again, you're my guy, but I have to ask this. Like, what is this guy? What is in his power to do without being judged? Please let me know something.
Yeah. So this is because I think some of what I've said has been. I don't think you're understanding what it is that I'm saying. Okay. Because of course I think it's totally wrong for for a woman to withhold.
No,
I mean that's part of the deal. That's part of the deal.
Right. You've expressed that. What I'm asking you've expressed that. What I'm asking you is, and I'm not lost on what you're saying at all. I want you to tell me if those two things are off the table, what's left for this man?
Well, here's the see the issue with the covenant. The issue with an agreement like a marriage, neither party is going to be perfect. So both parties are going to be less than perfect. They're going to make mistakes, and they're going to have ebbs and flows with different things. And you're going to be sometimes up, sometimes down. You're going to have all kinds of situations and circumstances arise. I mean, the guy could lose his job, and that could make it hard for him to take care of his wife. And you'd hope that she wouldn't split on him because he no longer is able to take care of her.
It's a bad comparison.
You'd hope that that was the case. Well, it's a direct comparison with
Mhm.
if you think that
Mhm.
what the wife gets is a protector and someone to provide,
No,
and what
no,
the guy
because
gets
no.
is
Mhm.
access, regular access to 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 the wife.
Let me tell you why it's not as a bad comparison because unless he, if he decides, hey, you know what, I don't feel like paying bills this month, then it's a great comparison. But that's circumstantial. You saying, well, if he gets fired and he becomes unable, that's like old boy said earlier, if she's not on her period or broken bones, these are circumstantial things. This woman is deciding to
Yeah,
not
yeah.
get.
So I think that's part that sort of entered this that I never condoned. I never said that it's okay for them to decide that they just don't want to do it.
I'm not
What I
saying
was
that you're
talking,
saying
what,
that.
yeah, 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 now hold up. What I was referring to is in a marriage, you're going to have times when certain things are more frequent, and you're going to have times when it's not as frequent, and it's going to all have to do with yeah, the sort of rhythm of life. You just had kids. You're still sort of figuring things out. Whatever. There's all kinds of
But but
reasons why
but,
people are not going to
No,
be
no, you're
but
adding
there's
having
also
regular
context.
activity.
You're adding
but
So
there's also
context.
but
those are
there's
the
another
things.
part though. Okay, good. Sorry, but there's one part
Yeah,
that's I think that's missing from maybe what marriage was 50 years ago with what it is now, and that's an unwritten code. Like
Right.
if this is my man, I'm going to take care of him. That code
Duty.
doesn't exist anymore.
Duty.
The
Women
code
have lost duty.
that duty, that code is I'm not happy, I'm leaving.
I agree. I agree that that's true. I agree that that's true. I'm saying if marriage is going to mean anything at all, it will require two people that are not willing to get divorced.
I
See, the only way that you stay married is if
Don't
you
get
don't
divorced.
get
don't get
divorced.
divorced.
So now I'm not saying that you should just allow anything,
I'm
but
not saying.
we
I,
already have, a scenario where the divorce rate is skyrocketing, and there's more and more reasons to justify why to split the marriage up. And the
Mhm.
biggest the biggest casualties of that are kids. And it's one thing if you're married, you don't have kids. Honestly, I don't even care what you do. But if you have kids and you are so selfish that uh, X, Y, and Z is not happening with whatever particular frequency that you'd be comfortable with,
You're saying it again.
that's to me, that seems to be, then
Yeah,
that person
but
shouldn't get married.
Okay.
That's what I'm
Hey.
saying.
All right.
but
Hold on. Let me. Let
women
me.
women
Let
are
me.
leaving more. They
I
leave
got a
more.
super chat here. Let me address this super
Yeah,
chat.
women are leaving more. Women are leaving like crazy. eighty
Right.
percent of the divorces in our community are filed by women.
So hold on. Let me address this super chat. He said, "Oh, Saray, what's going on?" Saray said, "Why divorce is so prevalent? Your only option. If it's not showing up on the screen yet, it will." Shout out to Expansion for the Cash App. This is
Hmm.
my response to you, Doc, because
Okay.
I feel that you are not answering my question. So me, I will ask a question again and again till I get an answer. Okay, you're talking about how you feel about it, you think it's wrong, etc. We get all that. We understand, divorce is how you feel about it. You've kind of expressed that. Like, we get it. What I'm asking you is the man that is not getting sex, we ain't talking about frequency, we ain't talking about the way he wants. We talking about a man in a marriage because it exists. It's a thing. A man that's in a marriage, a sexless marriage where his woman is not giving him any sex, right? To a point where it's what they call it is this is an extended period of time. He's not getting sex at all. So you have expressed that he would be wrong for either seeking it somewhere else. You talking about kids and everything like that. There are men who are having sex outside of their marriage, right? Because their wife is not having sex with them. and they still do all the other operational things. But I understand that you're speaking from a religious perspective. I do. But what I'm asking you, right, in this thing that you already agree that she's wrong for denying it in the first place. We haven't even
I'm
spoken
going to answer
on.
the question.
No, no, no,
I'm
no,
going to
no,
answer the
no, no,
question.
no, no,
Okay.
no, no. Listen to what I'm saying.
All right.
We haven't even discussed. Well, she shouldn't be married if she's going to deny her husband sex. And I'm not talking about her being incapacitated. I'm not talking about anything circumstantial. I'm talking about she just don't feel like it, or she don't, want to, she don't have it for him no more because it
I
happens.
think that's true too. I think that's
So
true
no,
too.
no, I'm not. That's not what I'm getting at. What I'm getting at is this woman who has decided to deny her husband is breaking the covenant, and I stand on that. Right? Shout out to Saray. He said side piece. The man who is being denied sex. Again, I'm gonna express. We ain't talking about the way he likes. We're saying at all. He's not getting no sex at all for an undetermined period of time. He can't get divorced and he can't cheat. What does Dr. Thunder suggest that this man does? Without
Okay, I'm gonna give you two.
without an explanation, I want to know what
I,
this man in this marriage should do because he
I'm gonna
can't.
give you two. I'm gonna give you two answers. I'm gonna give you two answers. I'm gonna give you the practical, pragmatic the answer, which which won't have anything to do with religion. That'll be devoid of religion, and then I'll give you the religious, the sort of religious answer. The practical answer is he's got to get divorced. He's got to get out of that. He's got to go somewhere else, right? Go where you're celebrated, not tolerated, right? So that is my practical, pragmatic answer. Now, now my religious answer, which is based on my belief that marriage is not just about
Nobody's asserting that. See, you're doing it. You're doing, Doc. I gotta accuse you of straw man in a little bit. I got to
how am I straw man?
because you keep inferring that because a man wants sex, that it's all about sex.
No, I'm not saying that. I don't mean that.
No,
but I don't mean that.
But then you can't drive that point home when we say, well, this man is not getting sex at all, and you're saying, well,
No, I'm with that.
I believe that a marriage is not all about sex. No, he's doing all the other things that he's supposed to do, but the sex is being omitted from the situation. So no, there's other things happening. Right?
I get it.
So you're
from a religious perspective, because I believe that it's either marriage or celibacy that are the pathways to salvation. That's what I actually believe. So since I believe that, if the guy is getting none, he would either be single and getting none, or he'd stay with the woman and still get none.
So his only way to salvation is to stay in a sexless marriage, you're saying?
That's not exactly what I'm saying.
No, I'm asking you, are you saying it? I'm not saying that you're saying it. I'm asking you, are you saying it?
I believe that there are two pathways to salvation: celibacy and marriage. Okay, so
no, but
however,
he's in a marriage and he's celibate.
Well, I guess he's got it. I guess he found the third path. I don't know.
Nah, man.
A celibate man.
Doc, I'm not letting you escape this. Hold on. Glasses off. I'm not letting you escape this, Doc. I'm not letting you escape this at all, Doc. You see what's going on here?
No, but I've already answered your question though, because I answered. No, I answered your question. Look, I have certain values and beliefs, and those beliefs would preclude me from saying that I think it's okay for someone to divorce outside of a very clear list of reasons. Okay, one of those reasons would be adultery. That's grounds for divorce. Another reason would be physical violence. So if if you're being beaten or verbally abused or any of that kind of abusive reasons, then I would say that that's grounds. If somebody is hooked on drugs,
So you
that
saying
could be grounds. But actually, some of those I'm expanding. I'm expanding for the sake of I'm expanding those things. That's actually due to grace. I'm trying to extend some grace for some of those reasons,
so? I'm
because
gonna ask.
really the only reason is adultery.
I'm
So
gonna ask.
if there's no
Right.
adultery, then there's no divorce.
I'm
That's
gonna.
what I think.
I'm gonna ask you a yes or no question again.
Hey guys, I gotta drop down.
Hey, OG,
I'm
man.
enjoying. I'm enjoying this.
You get caught up in
This is
this
like
shit,
an
man.
lawyer interrogation. Oh, this is good. But
Hey,
thanks for having me up, Marcus. I
hey,
appreciate it.
OG,
All right, man.
man.
See you later, man.
I gotta get with you, man. I gotta get
Yeah.
with you, man.
Yeah. Hit my email. It's on my site. Hit my email.
No doubt.
Peace, fellas. Later, Dr.
All right,
Duncan.
peace out.
All right, now.
Yeah, we kind of I don't blame OG for jumping down because we kind of got sidetracked. So let me hit some of these super chats. This thing is moving kind of slow here. Shout out to Deacon Dave. He said a man not getting sex in a marriage is not married. Okay. So shout out to Truth as I Know It. What's going on, bro? I see you in here. Carlton Bakes the third. Shout out to you. So hey Kobe, what's going on? He said, or you could just not get married at all. Because I would argue if a woman is denying sex in a marriage, the answer would be for her not to deny sex. And we talking about what the man should and shouldn't do, but nobody's saying that she shouldn't be denying sex in a marriage.
Yeah, no,
We're saying it's wrong.
I'm saying that.
Right.
I'm saying that.
So
I'm saying that she shouldn't be doing that.
Right. So then that's grounds. If adultery is grounds,
it's not. So here's the thing.
And you're saying
so from a practical perspective.
No,
from a practical perspective, it can be grounds from a practical perspective. From a scriptural perspective, it is not grounds. There's no book on that.
I'm gonna disagree with you on that because I'm gonna say this to you. Again, I do have a formal Christian background that I did not forget. And these no disrespect to nobody's beliefs. This is kind of like why I got away from because there's too many points of view when it comes to this stuff, right? The thing is, there are things in the Bible that allude to, a woman cannot deny her husband. I'm not even speaking practical.
That's right.
I'm speaking religious, right? So if adultery is one of those things that makes a marriage null and void, so is denying yourself, because it's in the marriage vows. You belong to him. He belongs to you. It's in the vows.
Right.
Right. So you're not even in a religious position to say no. You're not.
Yeah, I think that what you're saying is totally true.
Sin is sin. It's as bad as adultery.
Well, it's not as bad as adultery, but it is bad.
No, you're breaking the vow, bro. Forsaking all others, right? I'm educated on this. Forsaking all others to having the whole, for rich and for poor, right? You're breaking the vow.
Yeah, that wasn't my vows. That wasn't that
wasn't your vows, but those are the vows, man. You can't make
no. Hold up. No. Well, hold up. So I'm Orthodox. Those vows that you're talking about, because the Catholics changed, they changed several things. They made marriage a legal matter, and prior to
those are not legal vows that you're saying in church.
No, listen. They made it a legal matter, and matter of fact, sealed by death, till death do you part. That's the end of the arrangement.
But you're saying that you shouldn't divorce. That's implying that you don't divorce, right? That's not legal. Legal is divorce. Divorce is legal, a legal matter. Death do us part is the religious vow. You're saying
No. I'm saying prior to them adding that till death do us part and a list of other vows that you just mentioned, that's all stuff downstream from Catholics. The Orthodox don't believe that marriage actually ends. Death does not end marriage. Marriage is actually considered a forever commitment. And so your spouse dies, and even though your spouse dies, you do not remarry because you're still married.
Didn't people in the Bible remarry after their wife died?
You're right. It does happen, and there's a short list of reasons why you would remarry.
Some of God's favorite.
One of them, one of the reasons, the primary reason is because of young children. If you have young children and your spouse dies, for the sake of the kids, it would be important to remarry so that the kids can have that family structure because of how important that is and what the kids need to get out of that. But that is basically the only that's the only situation. I mean, there's some stuff in the Old Testament about how if you're say for instance, if your brother's wife, so you're not married, but your brother dies and he had a wife and she's a widow and she's got kids, then it's your responsibility to take her on as your wife. That's one of these things. Again, it's the whole primacy of the family structure. It's because
so hold on, let me read these super chats because you just said some shit there. Versatile Poetry said, with getting a large bag, public scrutiny is involved. Bottom line, you have to proceed with caution, even if society's perfect. I agree with you, but people are not perfect. Somebody gonna fuck up. That's just, we're saying, well, he shouldn't have did this and did that. Again, once male nature itself becomes criminal, ain't gonna be no way around this shit. That's just what it is. Let me shout out Saray Rogers. These super chats are coming up real slow. I don't know if it's StreamYard or if it's the computer. I don't know. So Saray says, I have a question for you, Marcus. Do you think Dr. Umar Johnson having 2 wives is okay? I say take the Bill Clinton approach. I don't care what people do. You didn't want to have if the 2 women are good with it. Why do I care? Thank you for the super chat, and thank you, Versatile Poetry, for that other super chat. Right. So Janfar says, let's bring his comment up. And then I'm gonna start bringing some people in for some comments. I'm gonna post the link because me and the doc are having, we always debating, man. But I want to have a couple of the guys speak to the what you call it. Shout out to William Cochran for the Cash App. Red Lion, I think I might have shouted you out already. Expansion. Okay, yeah, I just want to make sure I got all those Cash Apps. I don't know if somebody else sent me. Oh, okay. Revelator, shout out to you for the Cash App. My shit wasn't reloaded. And Corbett, what's up, man? Shout out to you for the Cash App. Maul, what's going on? Said 1 Corinthians for the doc. It is a marital duty. If the sexual abandonment proves to be too much for the man, he is within rights to replace her as she has already abandoned him.
Yeah, that's not what that scripture says. He's paraphrasing and he's applying some meaning to what he's read. That's not what that scripture says.
So I'm gonna ask you again, and Doc, I really need you to answer my question directly. I really need you to answer my question directly, and then we're gonna leave this alone. We're gonna bring in some people. Thank y'all for waiting for the link. I'm gonna ask you again, Doc. So the man who's being denied sex from his wife, his only path to salvation, and this is a yes or no, his only path to salvation is to remain there and accept life sexless. That's his only path to foundation. I mean, I'm sure I could find something in the Bible that pretty much extends this sentiment that Maul has posted. But again, she's violating the covenant for denying it. Just like she would be violating the covenant in adultery. To think that one is less than the other is no, it's the vow you promise before God. Now you say, well, my vows are different. That's kind of irrelevant. If in the church she made these vows to, again, submit herself to you and you submit yourself to her. And this is, I mentioned till death do us part again. That's a side thing. I just was reciting the vows because we're not talking about till death do us part right now. Right now, we're talking about the idea that you are forsaking your husband, forsaking all others, right? You're forsaking your husband. Your response to this originally was two paths to salvation, either celibacy or marriage. So in other words, you're saying no fornication, but have sex in your marriage. So if marriage is the only vessel for sex, and you're not getting it in sex, what do you want this man to do for salvation?
Well, so I'm just going to answer your question. I'll answer it directly, and then I'm going to give you some context. So that man has to stay married. Okay, that's my answer. In the religious context that I'm providing,
stay married and do what? Okay? No, you.
No, he says. I answered. You asked what is his recourse? I'm saying he doesn't have an out. I'm saying he's stuck. I'm saying
so God will punish this man unless he just accepts the fact that he will never have sex again, right?
He will. Okay, so wait a minute. So, well, I rephrase that. I'm not sure I understood that.
I don't know. I think it was pretty straightforward, but I'll ask you again. So God, Jehovah,
yeah,
punish this man if he does not decide to accept that he will never have sex again. Is that
that's not the way that works.
No,
it's a violation of his commitment.
You said
I'm saying he is stuck. He's stuck. But the thing is I would not characterize that as God being punishing him.
No, but you said salvation. So if you don't receive salvation, you receive the other thing. So that's punishment.
That's not exactly what that means. I said I believe it's a pathway to salvation. That marriage and celibacy are the two pathways to salvation.
No, bro.
That's what I said.
I know what you said, but I'm asking you something
and that's
else. If you don't receive salvation, what do you receive? Again, I am of a Christian background, so even if you don't say it, I might have to say it for you because I am familiar with this stuff. And if you're not saved, you're
talking about damnation.
Yes, that is punishment. So if you said the path to salvation, so there's salvation and there's the other path to damnation. Yeah. Damnation is a punishment. You don't want to say it, but that's what it is. So in order to avoid damnation, this man.
Yeah, I don't see things as black and white as that.
It's not about what you see. This is what the word says. This is the word.
Well,
the word, right?
That's true, but perhaps my interpretation of that is
No,
different.
no, it's
I don't see this as being this sort of black and white sort of issue. I see it.
So what's the middle ground? If either you're damned, you're damned, or you're saved. What is the middle ground that you're talking about then?
Well, the middle ground.
There ain't no middle ground. I'm going to assert there's no middle ground. Now, hey, look, when I drop the link, we're not discussing this. We're discussing Pookie versus
right.
We're not going to put Doc on trial. I've done enough of that, but I'm just saying, I appreciate you being a good sport about this. We're going to drop this. So the Pookie versus the Simp.
You didn't get to me. You didn't let me give my my context.
No, but you've done a lot of that. But what you're not doing is you've given.
No. I answered your question. No, I answered your question.
You said
I said he's stuck. That's right. The answer to the question. He's stuck.
Right. So it's salvation or damnation. There's no in between. So in order for that,
but the thing is that I answered your question, but then you pulled out another. You pulled something else out.
No, but there's nothing else.
Because you told me that I wasn't answering your question, so I answered your question. Right. But then when I answered your question, you said, "Here's some bonus material." That's when we started talking about this sort of there's no gray area, salvation or damnation.
It's a follow up. If I ask you a question, and you answer the question, then I'm interpreting your answer, and then I ask you a follow up question. You said,
I got you.
You don't see things as black and white. Now understand, the Bible is not about how you want to interpret it. It's damnation and it's salvation. Now, unless there's a extra book and some verses that I missed where there's a middle ground between going to hell or going to heaven, I need to be educated.
It's called purgatory.
Okay, but you're not going to purgatory if you have sex outside of your marriage, or so is purgatory if you get a divorce? I know I'm being facetious, but I'm just saying, like you saying. Yeah. Well, I don't see it as black and white, but the Bible is pretty black and white about it, I think.
Yeah, and that's actually, but that's why I have the position I have, is because I do think that it's unrelenting and is very clear on certain topics. The marriage topic, it's very clear on what the grounds can be for divorce. And although there is specific conduct that both parties are supposed to that they're supposed to comply with, that they're supposed to do that.
I get it.
But even if one of the parties does not comply, as long as it's not adultery, then there is no divorce. And then whoever moves on.
No, hold on. Where in the Bible are you getting that? You saying as long, because you're giving terms and conditions. You're saying, well, as long as it's not this, then this. Where I really don't think this is expressed in the manner that you're expressing it, and that's sometimes the problem that I have with like religious stuff, is that everybody expresses their interpretation. It's like going to the museum and looking at art, and everybody's telling you what the artist was thinking when they threw some paint on the canvas, and the guy might have been thinking, let me throw some paint on the canvas and get some money from these people that's going to come in here and express how they feel I was thinking, and my thought process is just so subjective, and where everybody can say, well, what I think.
I have the same issue. And so the question that I always ask folks is, first of all, is where did the Bible come from? And then if we can figure out where it came from, what organization, what institution it came from, then who should we be listening to about what the interpretation is? And so, individuals can interpret it all kinds of ways. The Bible even says private interpretation is not, there's a prohibition against private interpretation. It's supposed to be read and understood a particular way. It's not possible for that to be if it's just a bunch of individuals going by whatever they want to do. So you have to find the institution that it came from and what they say it means.
So then there's no middle ground.
Not with the interpretation of scripture, not with an orthodox, approach.
Right. So then you being orthodox, you're saying
Orthodox meaning right teaching, right understanding.
I understand what orthodox means, sir.
Yeah,
What I'm
yeah.
saying, what I'm
No,
saying,
I know you know that. I know you know that. I'm just saying. So the term orthodox gets thrown around. Some folks.
We're getting
Yeah.
bogged down by the. I don't want to discuss the definition of orthodox, and I'm
Go
sorry to
ahead.
cut you off. And
Go ahead.
we're getting bogged down with a lot of side banter. What I'm saying is you're expressing that I'm saying the Bible is black and white, and yes, I am saying that, but it is black and white, and if it's not, then let me know. Someone would have to let me know. It doesn't have to be you. Where in the Bible does it express that there's a middle ground for what we're discussing? Because either
I'm not.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think you're applying that conversation we just had about middle ground to something that I would not apply it to. I think that the Bible clearly means a specific thing.
Okay,
and
but you mentioned salvation. What is there other than salvation and damnation? Like that the Bible is discussing.
Purgatory.
No, but there's okay. So what purgatory? Not that I accept that answer, but I'm gonna say this: what sins? Because sin is sin. What sins land you in purgatory as opposed to?
Well, the Catholics believe that.
No, let's talk about Orthodox. Let's not again. We're going left again in your Orthodox belief system.
Well, I don't believe in purgatory.
So then why did
Catholics
you
believe in purgatory?
Oh, come on,
no.
Nah, no.
Hold up.
We gonna move on, man. We gonna move on, man. I'm asking you these questions, man. Look, we gonna bring some people up, man. Shout out to I got Marvel Life Comics and Truth Teller up here, man. So this is what I'm gonna do, man. If you want to address this, I don't want to go back and forth too much about it, but I want to get back to the topic because y'all been here the whole time. I know Truth Teller has. So I'm gonna first I'm gonna go to Marvel Life Comics. What's going on, bro?
Yeah, what's good, Mark?
What's happening?
So first of all, I want to say like
I'm gonna give everybody like 3. I'm gonna do a GG. I'm gonna do a Green Gorilla. I'm gonna give everybody like 3 minutes. Well, go ahead, talk to me.
That's bullshit though. Like for what I said about that, if she not sick, anything broken or not on her period, like I'm cheating. Like a lot of dudes don't hold their nuts in these relationships. So it's like, let's take from the standpoint that he get married to be pure or saved, and then she does the 360 on him. So what he has to become asexual or something like that to be saved. Like that's bullshit. And then number 2 is like, I guess because I'm much younger, I'm a new generation, but I honestly believe that all these hoes will be replaced. Wives, girlfriends, side hoes, like they will be replaced. Like as long as like ain't nobody treating each other bad, like I don't see what the problem with one of them trying to take advantage over others, especially how we see women withhold sex just to get their way. And my thing is like, if you start withholding sex, she's somebody else. And going back to what Pastor OG said at the beginning of the stream, he was correct, and I don't hear this enough. But I hear it on Edward's channel. But a lot of these dudes use what do you call it, like and all that shit just like they prove their manhood based off how many women they can sleep with, whether it's on a block, worldwide, nationwide. That like for the standpoint of black men, for the most part on a large scale, their image is seen as Johnson, not through money, resources, or power. And I see that a lot, especially with them dudes who be going to be
All right.
Still help my nuts.
So we're gonna move on to the next person. Because I actually gotta run and get some soon. This is a Wednesday, so I don't want it's a work day. And I don't want to keep motherfuckers out here too late. We are gonna go to Truth Teller. Thank you, Marvel, for jumping up in here, bro. Truth Teller, what's happening, brother?
What's going on, Mark? Appreciate you having me jump on.
Tell us the
Listen,
truth, man.
first things first. Listen, we all got some kind of Simp programming, and it was kicking in full swing just now. All right, so I'm gonna just leave it there because that made no sense. That whole conversation, it really was what it was, and that's something that women do effectively, right? You cannot say I'm gonna use what's taught in the old book, but I'm gonna put a new version twist on it, but only refer to the old book on the stuff that I want to cover me for, right? That's the game they play, and that's kind of what we heard. In regards to the topic,
if you don't
in
mind,
regards,
right?
yeah.
I heard what you just said, but if you don't mind, be like when you say the old thing and this thing and that thing, like say that like outright if you can.
So okay, so we talking about the old book, Orthodox Old Testament. I do have a Christian background as well.
Right.
I went to Catholic school for many years. My parents were heavy Baptists, so I understand what's in that book, right? So when you use those rules, and so sorry, just people who probably already know this, but there's the Old Testament, New Testament, all that good stuff that's in Christianity, whether it's Catholicism or anything else. And then we got some of the other religions and, King James and all that good stuff. But in any case, what you just heard was somebody taking the old rules that would require a man to stay married, erasing all the benefits and all the things that he would get by doing that, and saying he doesn't get any of those things, but the rule for him to stay married is still there. That's something that women do when they talk about
the contract is null and void point.
Yeah, it is null and void because they have a responsibility to be halal wives, and that's really Islam reference and Eastern. They use that. Basically, you are fulfilling your role as a wife. One of those things is you are sexually interacting with your husband when he wants it. I know we don't want to say that out loud,
right?
But that's the whole point, right? He is the prize. He's the cornerstone of the family. Everything is reliant upon him because he has to take responsibility for everything. So therefore, he gets benefits and privileges that not everybody else is supposed to get. And that is the correct way that marriage works. A wife has a responsibility to her husband, her children, her family, and especially her house, right? So if she's not fulfilling that, she is in violation. So I know the new preachers, they kind of don't want to say that because the only people paying at the church is women right now. But that's what the old book teaches. Honestly, that's what most religions from the past teach. There's not many of them that teach women can do whatever they want. Actually, there are none. I've looked. Maybe Wicca, if you want to call that. But other than that, that's the way it works. That's the way marriage worked in history. Let's not even talk about religion. In history, that's the way marriage worked because men are the cornerstone of marriage. Let's just leave it at that. As far as the topic is concerned, sorry.
No, go ahead. You got a few more seconds. Go ahead.
I was just gonna keep it short. Pookies is part of the system. We need them. These dudes, these simps, it's a virus. It's a foreign body to the system, and they're a problem.
No doubt. Shout out to Deacon Dave. He said Latinas do not withhold sex at all. That's a black issue. So I'm gonna move on to Mr. O with the info. Mr. O, you there? Going once, going twice. I'll come back to you, Mr. O, because after these, I'm gonna get Doc's final word, and then we're gonna jump out of here. Chaos. Going get you first. Go ahead, brother. Your time starts now. Chaos reign. Chaos ain't there.
Hey, you know, I don't actually see them on the screen there. I don't know
No, I
if
don't
you're
think
still
you would.
having that issue. Oh,
I
okay,
don't.
all right.
I don't think you would. I mean, do you see who? Who do you see? You see yourself, right?
No, no, no. I see the T, the
Yeah, I
blank.
see me. I see Doc.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hold on, let me
yeah,
see.
in
Oh,
the blank
backstage.
joint. Oh, okay,
Okay.
there we go. There
Here
we
I
go.
go.
Okay, I'm
All
pulling
right.
up. They backstage.
Yes. Yeah. And Mr. O was
So
in the
let me
back too.
start
So
out
you,
with Mr. O with the info.
So you want me to go and talk about the Simpson and Pookie?
Chaos, talk to me. Let's start this over.
Hello?
Chaos reign.
I'm here. I'm here. But Mr. O, you had first. Let him talk. Mr. O was up here.
No. I don't. I think he might be away, man. Go ahead. I'm waiting for you.
Okay. Yeah, man. You said Simpson, Davis, Pookie. Possibility. It's possible, but you know, when I look at the types of simps, they could always be negated at the end of the day because there's so much a buffer of them. They're actually ways to expound actual simps, and most dudes nowadays we spot them not a mile away, and we make the choice either we're going to deal with them or not. I mean, stay simping. There's no way around it. As long as they're going to simp to hopefully get the possibility of sex, you can't do nothing about it. Now, Pookie might be a different question, but you know, I'm not getting to that because you know, a lot of dudes talk about Pookie Ray to me times in the space, and I'm beyond that. So that's my response.
Man, Nick dudes don't know what Pookie and Ray Ray is. Like literally, I'm in Chicago every day, all day, South Side. Y'all want to see what Pookies and Ray Rays are? Come to Inglewood. I'll show you what a Pookie and Ray Ray is. All that other stuff these people say on these internet streets is only like the aesthetic of so-called Pookie and Ray Ray. I know some Pookie and Ray Rays that can articulate themselves like a fucking Oxford dictionary versus the educated lame nigga that don't understand how to read a room and how to move in said room. But peace to the gentleman on the panel. Salute to you, Marcus. Salute to you, Dr. Dunder, Chaos Rain, and everybody else. Yo, the thing about Simps and Pookie and Ray Ray, sometimes they one and the damn same. Like, can I give you a example of Tupac Shakur? Can I call him a simp? And also, can I call him a Pookie and a Ray Ray?
Hey, man, floor is yours, brother.
I'm just saying. What does a woman, especially in the community, what is her ideal mate? She literally been saying since the 90s that she wants a Tupac with a degree. Now, a lot of men can't measure up to that so-called standards of being educated or hold their weight in the streets against so-called knuckle dragging Neanderthal dudes that want to be basically tear down and destroy their own sanctity of masculinity, manhood, and their own lives. But for some reason, we always trying to push that so-called image and want to be part of that image. And ergo, both of their so-called folly is that they do everything for the bitch. Excuse my language, Marcus. I'm sorry about that. They do everything for a
100
said woman.
I talk worse than that on here. Speak your mind, man.
Yeah. So Pookie and Ray Ray and Simps and the alike, they do everything to go ahead and dirty Mac, throw other men under the bus for the simple fact of getting said what my man said earlier, that vitamin P. In which that so-called vitamin P, and if you had noticed in Atlanta and Houston, respectfully, both of them are very diseased and corrosive. If you want to go ahead and go in such in depth, so I want to ask men: is it really worth being a Pookie, Ray Ray, or a simp nowadays to these types of women that's walking around in Western society, and to my passport bros going abroad in the other countries? Are you actually vetting these women and not getting the same type of women that you're leaving behind?
So, hey, I appreciate y'all for jumping up and adding y'all words, man. I'm gonna drop y'all down, but yeah, hey, thanks for jumping up. Marvel Life Comics, Truth Teller, Mr. O, and Mr. Chaos Reign. Let the chaos reign. All right, I appreciate y'all because I'm gonna wrap this up soon. So me and I'm gonna get Doc's final words, man. You know, and this is gonna be related to the topic, not our other. Yeah, we will do that another day. if the doc wants to do that. But yeah, man, talk to me about you know, I guess summarize your point of view of this topic.
Yeah, I mean, uh, it seems to me that there are more simps, and simps can do more damage because simps have actually access to institutions, the political mechanism, academia. They have access to a lot of ways to exert their power, as it were, on others. So simps, I think, can do a lot more damage, and you can't get away from simps. I think that was a good point you made earlier when you were talking about how you can move away from where Pookies live, but you can't really get away from simps. And as I said before, Adam was the first simp, and we've all been sort of polluted with the simping gene, and we have to be aware of it and actively turn it off. Yeah, and so I think that makes it, since it seems to be a native state of all men, it seems like it's probably quite a bit more devastating and ubiquitous than Pookies. So yes, the simp is the most dangerous.
I would tend to agree. Shout out to Truth As You Know It. He said, you're lost if you think Keisha wants a Pookie with a degree. She only says that to throw you off of the scent that she doesn't like any man. Good live stream. If I wasn't working in the yard, I would have hopped on. Definitely, bro. He said stay away from them, plain and simple. That's Janadrian. But yeah, man. I tend to agree with the sentiment and this is how I've felt for a long time. Pookies and Ray Rays, they I guess infect the women that some of us, I guess, would prefer not be infected, right? To me, guys who really like obsess about Pookies and Ray Rays is really about competing for the women. That's always been my point of view with that. I ain't talking about thugs, because thugs are different. But when I'm talking about Pookies and Ray Rays, again, you don't want to be confused or compared to these guys or confused for these guys. I understand that, right? It's just like in the white culture, they don't like slackers, right? But you can't compare. And again, I'm not saying that the Pookie is not a problem, but it's more like an inconvenience than a problem. Like, the simp is a force to be reckoned with. And that's why I'm more lean towards, being anti-simp and as opposed to, anti-Pookie. And again, some Pookies are simps, but I put them on the list with the rest of the simps. It's just a type of simp. But simps write your policy, they write your laws, they support this issue that we're dealing with.
Hey, do you think that in any way that simps are downstream from Pookies? So this is what I mean. So Pookie got multiple baby mamas, right? And then one of those baby mamas, the simp ends up being the cleanup bro.
Okay.
So in that way, the simp is sort of cleaning up for the Pookie. And if you clean it up for someone, then it seems to me that you downstream from them. It's hard to see that any other way.
Well, if they decide to do that, but hey, look, that's between them fellas. This shit ain't got nothing to do with me. And
but that's simping though. But that's simping though, right? He's simping by
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. But again, I mean, you got guys who, I mean, if this some of the simps are upset at the Pookies for doing exactly that. They don't want to be the guy who says, I'm not being a cleanup guy, right?
Mhm.
Those are the guys I speak for. The guy who's willing to be the cleanup guy, who's also complaining about Pookie, right? Oh, you ruined her. She's ruined. You know what I'm saying? She's ruined. I could have had her when you had her. But
Boys.
right, but now I have to get her after. So you get the as is, right? As is title, salvage title, right? So that's what I'm saying. Like that's what this is really about, in my opinion. But I'm just saying, and Shaka, I'm not necessarily saying that. Whether one kid, multiple kids, or I mean, you can have Pookie with no kids. It doesn't even matter. But what I'm saying is, when guys are belly aching about it, these are the talking points that they use. And to me, it's really about competition for the same black women that we talk about on these streams all the time, right? So to be honest, that's my point of view with it. Like, to me, the focus should be on the men who give these women power. These women have power, not because of Pookie and Ray Ray. So you hate the man as, treating her like trash more than you don't like the man that's putting the battery in her back to make your situation fucked up. I'm just saying, like, if you decide not to deal with those types of females, then Pookie and Ray Ray ain't your issue. But the simp will still be your issue, regardless. Because even the stuff that we spoke on earlier, Doc, with the guy going through what he's going through with the girl, what's the dude's name? The coach?
Mel Tucker.
Right. All the simps fuel all of these things, man. The simps fuel, or there would be no gas in the feminism vehicle without simps.
Yeah.
So I don't care who all the Pookies are knocking up in the hood. I don't care. Cause the kid is not my son. I don't care. Ain't got nothing to do with me. The kid is not my son. But we all pay child support. I say this all the time. We all pay child support.
Yeah, it's called taxes.
Right. We all pay child support. Even one of us who made the best decisions in life, we decided not to deal with these types of women and stay away from these types of dudes. We are still paying for their bad decisions. Because of who? Because of who? Not because of Pookie. I'm just saying. So, that's about it. I'm gonna wrap this up, man. Hey, Doc, man, thank you for jumping on here with me. Hey, Passport OG, man, I appreciate you for jumping in here, and I appreciate your perspective on the Black Man is Batman with your response video, which I will be supplying the link to that in the description of this video. All right, y'all need to check that out. I think he called it Culture Destroyers. It's on OG Passport OG's channel. It's called Culture Destroyers, where he referenced the Black Man is Batman in the original conversation about the simp is worse than Pookie. And yeah, man, thank you for jumping up in here, man. Brotherly Love, he said, what's up? Hey, you gonna have to catch the replay, man. We out of here. Yeah, man. So shout out to everybody for jumping in here, man. And it's a wrap. 100.
Peace.
Peace. And this shit is slow. Here we go.